Alright, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Style Esports Season 6 semifinal playoffs. My name is Basket of Knives, and I am joined by 1,000 Eyes here to bring you CoCoMelon Gaming versus LBK Sapphire. Already into the ban phase, getting Rumble, Yumi, and Nivea banned out by the side of CoCoMelon Gaming, and Gragas Fiddlesticks, and an unknown third ban coming through here by LBK Sapphire. How you doing today, 1,000 Eyes?
I'm doing all right. I am excited to get into this semifinals matchup. Both these teams have looked really, really solid. I have casted LBK Sapphire a few times already, and they have looked incredibly hard to beat. So I'm really curious on how CoCoMelon Gaming are going to handle this, and we are just blowing through this draft right now. The Seraphine has been picked up. Has just still been top tier as far as support goes, has fallen off in mid lane, but still a great support pick. And then Nunu and Willip is going to be the pickup for, let me make sure I'm getting the teams right. Okay, so LBK is going to be going over to Adelaide, which is the top champion for him, and going to be getting a little bit more aggressive in that jungle area.
Yeah, absolutely. And Leona picked up here on the support end, and that Seraphine is always still good for that good old classic double or triple flex, depending on if they did want to take that mid lane, but they can also navigate that in the bottom lane here as well. I know I've run into that plenty of times, and that is a pain to deal with. Kled was that third and final ban, for those who were wondering. Now, definitely agree. Definitely agree that it is going to be very interesting and tough mountain potentially for CoCoMelon Gaming to climb, being the 8th seed. However, they did upset the number 1 seed of the Zon bracket here. Mythic Esports was taken out by CoCoMelon Gaming in the quarterfinals, so they have already taken up the high seed. So now it's all uphill from here. Olaf Kaisa to fill out the jungle and AD roles. Caitlyn as the third pick here for K. Strong bot lane early game from LBK Sapphire, with a very, very well scaling lane in the side of CoCoMelon Gaming, assuming that Seraphine is in the support role.
Yeah, I do want to give the caveat that Miracle Ward's top champion, the mid laner for CoCoMelon, is Seraphine. So that very likely could be a mid lane Seraphine, and that top champion spot is by a wide margin. The Olaf here is interesting. Olaf has gotten nerfed pretty hard in the last couple of patches alongside Gore Drinker. He's still solid, however, he no longer kind of fits the role that he did before, where he was still solid into the late game. He's back to that jungler where he falls off super hard as you get past the mid game because he's not tanky enough. He won't survive in fights because of Gore Drinker. He won't put out as much damage in the later portions of the game. So it's really going to be up to Koopa Star here to get this pressure down early and start this snowball, because Nunu is going to get way too tanky for Olaf to really do much about. On the other portion, though, the bot lane here, Leona is a great pick into a Seraphine specifically, but also works well with about everything. The Caitlyn follow-up is great with the traps, and it brings a lot of early game lane pressure, especially against the short range that Kaisa has.
Yes, absolutely. So banning out all top laners here. 4 top laners banned out here in second phase. Jax, Wukong, Gnar, and Camille. Ziggs as blind pick, potentially mid, unless they are betting on it being a Seraphine on the side of LBK Sapphire. Ziggs has fallen off a lot in priority lately. However, any good Ziggs player will still be able to say, doesn't matter, I'm going to bomb you from 1,000 range, and I'm going to shred through your turret. So Caitlyn Ziggs sets up a lot of strength for a potential siege comp on the side of LBK Sapphire. Hovering the Scion here on the side of CoCoMelon Gaming. That will likely be going to the top. Switch over to the Shen. So we're going to be having Helpful Servant being a helpful servant on that Shen, being ready to teleport on in.
That's actually Scar is going to be on that.
That's going to be Scar?
Yes, that will be Scar.
Gotcha. I've got them flipped here on my end.
CoCoMelon is will be having Scar in the top lane. But I do like this pivot here. The Morgana is, I'm assuming, going to be picked up and that will be the support pick. I like this Shen here because CoCoMelon Gaming do not have a lot of wave clear, and that is something that you really, really need in order to be able to handle a siege. However, what they do have now is they have this Shen who can handle himself in the top lane in almost any matchup and become a split push threat in the late game while always being ready to show up to fights. So this means that CoCoMelon can basically allow for Shen to split push and at least cause some pressure in response to this siege team that LBK Sapphire has put together. Even though they kind of have put a team together that doesn't have a lot of answer for wave clear for this siege composition.
Yep, and we've got Helpful Servant rounding out the composition with that Aatrox. A really strong pick here. Can duel the Shen, however, the Shen can also beat the Aatrox. That's more or less a skill matchup and a matchup of patience. I do like the pivot to that Morgana, though. It gives a lot more safety to the Kai'Sa in the bottom lane. You're not going to be able to get stunned up by traps and Leona, Zenith Blade, and Shield of Daybreak as often, and it allows your Seraphine to go to that mid lane to be a little bit more of a wave clear monster, which will be tougher for Ziggs to siege upon. So we're going into now just the standard draft of Tournament Draft coming out of Pro Draft. That's a lot of drafts right there. But overall, we've got more or less a kind of a siege comp here with the Ziggs Caitlyn with basically 3 front line to protect them against a very much a dive comp. You know, you've got the Kai'Sa and the Olaf that can run in with a Shen on top with a Morgana Black Shield, and the Seraphine Encore, which will just bounce right through all of them and potentially get that entire team. So it's going to be siege versus dive. We'll see which one comes out on top here. What are your thoughts? Starting off with the side of CoCoMelon Gaming here. What are your thoughts here, Thousand Eyes?
Yeah, I mean, really, there's kind of like 2 ways they can handle this. There is the Olaf getting somebody fed early and playing around that with the Shen ultimate. They do have a bit of a submarine style comp where if they do get ahead early, they can actually just have Kai'Sa dive in, have the Encore go through everybody, and have a massive shield on Kai'Sa as she's kind of just blowing up this Ziggs and Caitlyn. That is an opportunity for CoCoMelon here, alongside that split push in the late game. However, overall, they're fairly short range as far as like damage threats here. The Olaf obviously is melee. Kai'Sa is a very short range for an AD carry and relies on that dive in from the ultimate. LBK Sapphire, on the other hand, very much a siege composition. Ziggs and Caitlyn are known for pushing their towers, getting them down very quickly. Ziggs, 25%, tower health. He just blows it up, says goodbye. And with the Leona and the Nunu, there's a lot of peel, actually. Between Absolute Zero and the Solar Flare, there's a lot of hard AoE ultimates to run through. If Kai'Sa dives too deep and the rest of the team cannot follow up through those ultimates, LBK can just turn on that Kai'Sa, blow her up, and then so much of CoCoMelon's team's damage is just gone.
Absolutely, this Kai'Sa is going to be the linchpin for the side of CoCoMelon Gaming, unless for some reason this Shen, Olaf, or Seraphine absolutely pop off. Kai'Sa is your primary damage. And on the side of LBK Sapphire, they do have plenty of damage sources from a split-pushing Aatrox that can push really hard late game, plus the incredible amount of late game damage and poke coming out of the Ziggs and the Caitlyn. It's going to be very interesting to see how they navigate this. If this game goes much beyond 25-30 minutes, it's likely in the hands of LBK Sapphire. However, if CoCoMelon Gaming do grab themselves a lead early, either on this Olaf or this Kai'Sa, they can run right over this game. I just played a competition game yesterday, and we had an Olaf jungle, and the Olaf jungle dove bot and got us 2 kills, got himself 2 kills under bottom tower in the first 5 minutes of the game, and well, the game ended about 15 minutes later. So if you get ahead on Olaf, he is weaker objectively now, but if you get ahead on him, he is still the absolute tear that he is, and especially into a team that does have a lot of hard CC, Olaf is your counter pick for that. Ragnarok just removing all CC, screw you to Solar Flare, screw you to Absolute Zero, screw you to the Eternal Chains. Nope, I will run right to your backline, kill your Caitlyn, kill your Ziggs, and I'll have a Shen on top of me too.
Yeah, the one thing that does kind of pose a bit of a problem, though, is that while Olaf is not going to be affected by that crowd control, he's also got a long way to run to get onto these carries. Both Ziggs and Caitlyn are going to be staying extremely far back, and it's going to take a while for Olaf to actually run to them. So expect this Olaf to have to come from flanks, come out of Fog of War in order to actually get onto this backline and use the ult in response to peel attempts. The other thing that I do kind of want to see here is I think this is a great game for the Moonstone Seraphine rather than the Liandry's. It's a bit of a hard call because the Seraphine does give you, with the Liandry's, a little bit more damage that you kind of need on this team. However, with the Siege comp, they need some kind of consistent healing option, and the Moonstone with the Seraphine as just poking people down, giving some heals back alongside the W will be kind of a thing that they really need.
Absolutely. We will see what Miracle Ward's build does plan out. Hopefully he'll be more than just a ward this game, whether it be the Moonstone or the Liandry's. We're going to send it over to a break, though. We'll see you guys in about 60 seconds, jumping into Game 1 of the semifinals here. CoCoMelon Gaming versus LBK Sapphire. See you in a minute. Alright, everyone, welcome to Summoner's Rift, Game 1 of this semi-final series of CoCoMelon game versus LBK Sapphire. We're already setting up a perimeter here, 5 pointing for both sides. Let's see what we got here going into this early game.
Yeah, seems like just a general 5-point start. Nobody actually going for the cheeky level 1 ward in the jungle, interestingly enough. It looks like actually Koopa might want to do it, but not going to pull the trigger on that. So no early advantage in terms of jungle pathing being known. Will just be your normal solo queue start.
Yep, kind of a risky start too for the Olaf there, as we saw Adele just put a ward down in that pixel brush. That's actually typically where you, as the Olaf, should be putting your ward if you are starting on that red side. Just because you're against that Nunu, and that Nunu could easily just go red buff to your blue buff and just run that right over with the Consume and Smite. Take that very quickly, but your standard start, bottom lane's helping out on the red and the blue buff respectively. And we're going to see what happens here with these early jungle pathing from Koopa and Adela.
Yeah. Looks like it's just going to be a pretty standard full clear. Nothing too fancy coming down. I was kind of curious if we were going to get some early action in these junglers meeting up, because they would definitely not want to see that happening. And just going through the lanes right now, seeing Ziggs getting that poke down. Although, honestly, Seraphine doing pretty solid in terms of returning that, so...
Yep, the early game on Seraphine with that Q is quite strong, so it can be a little difficult for the Ziggs to deal with early. However, once Ziggs gets a couple abilities under his belt, he can smack back pretty hard. We did go with the more tanky support item on the side of Nice to Meet You. That, I think, is actually fairly smart. She's going with the option of saying, hey, I'm not going to be poking as much with my Tormented Soil. I'm going to be going to keep my AD carry alive in an outrange matchup here of the Kai'Sa into the Caitlyn. And it looks like we might have ourselves a first gank coming up here top from the Nunu coming in with that snowball. The Shen decides to taunt his way on out. Still takes a snowball to the face, but walks away unscathed. No summoners blown there.
Yeah, good hold on that taunt, not overcommitting, recognizing that the Nunu would be capable of just following up onto that, but now Nunu taking the Gromp and should be able to get out here. Ooh.
Yep, well, we do have a fight going on here. Kind of risky for the Olaf to get in there, even though he does gain that extra bonus attack speed when he is lower HP. He might be a little bit too low, but does flash over, jumps onto the Ziggs. They are going for that first blood, flash from the Ziggs. Now they are on to Helpful Servant here. It is an absolute madhouse in the top lane. First blood goes over to Josh Wally, and a nether kill goes on to the Helpful Servant. However, Seraphine Miracle Ward smacks back to grab a kill, but then it's just replaced by a double kill on the side of Helpful Servant. We've got ourselves 6 flashes blown here at the 354 mark and 4 kills already on the board. This is what we call spice.
The spice is a word for it, definitely. And now, yeah, you can see the double buffs on Helpful Servant here. That Aatrox is going to be an issue now. 2 kills and a big CS lead. Still is the TP to get back to lane quick. And Aatrox ahead is a happy boy in that fight there. Just really good kiting out from Josh Wally and Adela there, tanking as much as possible and then getting out. And then all of these flashes were used to try and confirm a kill.
Ooh, great dodge there by Miracle Ward with the double E to get the root onto the Nunu. Smart play, and also honestly smart play from Scar when he got back to lane. He opted to prevent Helpful Servant from backing and getting that wave to stack, and fought him inside a double stacked blue side minion wave, so that did actually allow him to trade fairly evenly with the double buffed and level advantage Aatrox. However, now Helpful Servant is just going to get his back in and then likely just TP back into lane with a very, very healthy buy here. Likely going to get that Iron Spike Chain Whip. Actually,
no. Yeah, going for the Kindle Gem.
Going for a little bit more tankiness early and the ability haste, which will allow him to hit more of those abilities as soon as he can. Otherwise, just kind of
That's the big thing there. The ability haste is something that Aatrox really favors, so he can get those Qs down more often. It allows him to get his passive up more often, be just generally that big lane bully, and he has been hitting lots of these Qs actually. Will make him very hard to deal with. I would have rather seen him immediately back instead of actually going back to the lane, but might have wanted just a little bit more gold, but that does cost the teleport, so no TPs in any of these lanes for the next couple of minutes.
Yep, and a lot of vision that has now since then gone away, but there was a lot of vision going down into that bottom side, aiming around that dragon, especially if you are the side of CoCoMelon Gaming. You do not want to let this Nunu just go ahead and get this early dragon. However, it looks like that's what they're going to be doing. However, Star is going towards the top lane. However, that is the Ender coming in from Helpful Servant, and these just walk away. And
bad.
Sapphire grabs themselves an early Ocean Dragon. They do have much more favor on that early game in terms of composition, pushing mid lane, pushing bottom lane, and already having that advantage. It's not too unrealistic that CoCoMelon Gaming would not be able to contest that early dragon, and it's okay to give up that first dragon or two, but you gotta be making sure that you're trying to get something on the other end, or you're just going to get run over. And right now, Adela is just running over Star. Just stole the red buff, is just gonna run back over, blast cone over, and go for that blue buff now. And he is just robbing Koopa Star's Olaf blind.
Yeah, this is the big problem too. We said like the Olaf needs to get off the ground early, and already Olaf is behind. Went for that gank top lane as Helpful Servant hit level 6, was still level 4, and now Adela just a whole level advantage now at this point, and that is not something that Olaf really should ever be. He should be able to either out farm or get better ganks off just from the threat of the damage alone. So this is a huge problem for Olaf to already be behind when it's kind of a linchpin in terms of the creating the pressure and dive potential with this Kai'Sa.
Yep. Now, however, one thing to give yourself some hope here, if you're on the side of CoCoMelon Gaming, you do have a 2-wave lead on the side of Itanika, and with there being just zeros across the board in bottom lane, that does give you a better back, the Noon Quiver plus pickaxe on the Kai'Sa versus the Noon Quiver, boots, and a dagger on the side of Caitlyn. So that is a little bit of an extra power point. However, you do have red side being the first team to level 6, and they're roaming right on in, establishing some good vision, so they will know if this Olaf is coming.
Yeah, both these supports capable of roaming really well, but Nunu coming for another gank. That should just be not much there. But yeah, Leona really capable of doing a lot in these ganks. Absolute Zero though.
Locked it though with the Ragnarok and the Encore. However, Born Better Than You is also coming up. There was the Stand United coming in and a flash committed, but Josh Wally still walks out. Adela still walks out at the skin of his teeth, and they get the 3 kills across the board. You've got Ziggs and Leona picking up some kills there, and that's just absolutely devastating. Now Adela gets to go right to that 930 Rift Herald, can drop that down and then just lay that wherever he'd like to. I'd presume likely the mid lane, because you can drop those couple plates down and get it right inside that satchel range. But what some great early proactive plays coming out of here, coming out of the side of LBK Sapphire.
Yeah, it actually was just overcommittal there from CoCoMelon. They went really hard on this Nunu who just popped the Absolute Zero. It got popped early by the Encore, but unfortunately using the Encore on a single person that you're not going to be able to kill, not ideal. Plus with the Ragnarok popped, Olaf lost a lot of his bonus resistances, making him very easy for Ziggs to blow up, and following that there was just not any damage in the tank. Shen came in, dove super deep, but did not actually get any of the kills, so it was just a huge wash there for CoCoMelon, and now LBK are basically able to push this gas pedal as hard as they want in the next few minutes. We've got the Ludens completed on the Ziggs. That is a major item for him to just be able to constantly push this wave. The Rift Herald, like you said, will be available, and that is a massive threat, because if the gas pedal was already down, if that Rift Herald gets used in the mid lane with Ziggs, it is going to go through the floor.
Oh, absolutely. And honestly, what a great roam from Bro I'm Better Than You. That Leona coming on up to help guarantee those kills, getting that lockdown, and that's attributed to that lane pressure that they've been able to do. As the Caitlyn Leona into the Kai'Sa Morgana, the early compositional difference of just being able to outrange and kind of bully this lane is proving that right now, at least in the early game, that's giving them such a dominant lead, and that might be enough to just carry them through and never let this Kai'Sa get online to late game.
Yeah, interestingly enough, it's actually the Stridebreaker being picked up for the Aatrox. Haven't seen this too much, but I think this makes a lot of sense with the changes to Stridebreaker in the last patch and the nerfs to Gore Drinker. Makes it much more easy for Aatrox to just kind of side push consistently. He can chase pretty much anybody down who's going to go up and fight him, and when you're ahead, that is very hard to deal with.
We got a dive coming in here.
Whoa.
On the side of LBK elevated, and he goes down. He is elevated and then put 6 feet under. However, we do have that Rift Herald. Shelly was cracked, 2.5 plates gone in the mid side. Nothing else, though, coming off that play. However, overall, I would say that's a net positive for the side of CoCoMelon Gaming. They now are also in the position to take this Cloud Dragon, which will be good for them to be able to establish a lot of damage going on to Scar. However, them grabbing this Cloud Drake, getting some cooldown reduction on those ults, the critical ults like the Encore, Ragnarok, and the Stand United, that will matter later, and a Mountain Soul is what we've got to fight for here for the next 3 dragons.
Yeah, great bind from Nice to Meet You to basically get onto the Caitlyn while the Leona was gone, taking care of wards. They recognized that, they moved the pressure up, and Elevated did not respect the fact that he was in a 1v2 situation. So good punish from CoCoMelon, and now we'll see if they're able to use this extra kind of push they've gotten to help their own tempo match up to speed with how fast LBK have been pushing this game.
Yeah, with the Kai'Sa having the Gale Force completed and Bro I'm Better Than You kind of still doing this constant roam, you're leaving your Caitlyn out on an island, which can be pretty devastating, already down 20 CS, plus, you know, just kind of really a misplay. I'm not sure if the 90 caliber net was up at the time, but she did die with both her summoners up, so could have flashed to avoid the Dark Binding and would have gotten away, but you choose to hold on to those summoners, you choose to accept those consequences for not blowing that summoner to keep yourself alive, and now she's falling further and further behind, and this Kai'Sa with the Gale Force will strictly 1v1 this Caitlyn now. However, I don't think Scar is going to be able to 1v1 help Sherman in that top lane, being a level down and being about half an AM down. However, the early Bramble Vest plus steel plate caps will be strong against basically everyone on this team, because even Ziggs gets a lot of those empowered autos, and that's 12% damage reduction on those autos.
Yeah, and honestly, the important thing to note with this is the Kai'Sa is the big thing for the composition for CoCoMelon. So if there is one lane that you want to have ahead, it is this Kai'Sa. And with a Caitlyn, you generally wouldn't expect her to be down this much farm. Bro I'm Better Than You getting a lot of roams does have a factor to do with that, but some of it is just better play from Etanika. So I'm trying to pronounce that name.
The Ragnarok is popped, and Adela does steal away that blue buff once again. So basically a complete jungle kingdom right now for the side of LBK Sapphire. However, one thing that's important to note is that despite these huge advantages in mid and top, they have yet to crack a tower at 15 minutes. They've put the Rift Herald mid. They have a Ziggs that should be incredible on that pushing power. And yes, the difference in terms of HP on the turrets is huge, but they still have not managed to crack that also critical tower, which is a big part of them as a siege comp, is they want to be taking towers, and if right now they can't, and there's another fight here going in, Black Shield is popped, however they're diving in with
good spell shield.
But it does not matter, you have so much, but there's 2 teleports coming on in here. Will they be able to get themselves on out? Solar Flare, Mega Inferno Bomb, and just so much damage. However, Ananika does get himself on out. Scar might be the sacrificial lamb here. However, Dark Fire does land on Helpful Servant, and he might get popped. He does get popped, gets shut down by the Olaf. Sub-Zero is being popped just as disengaged from Adela. That is overall a 2-for-1 trade on the side of CoCoMelon Gaming, and you will absolutely take that coming from behind and getting a huge shutdown onto that Aatrox, and that does go onto your Olaf, who has been pretty much a non-factor this game, so that does help get him back into this fight oh so critically. And you blew both the teleports off of your mid and top laner, while only the ultimate off of your Shen.
Yeah, and ultimately too, that is just really, really good getting out. Oh my goodness, we're not done.
Nope. Koopa Star is saying, hey, don't count me out yet. I'm going to run on in. However, he runs right into the abominable snowman himself and just says, me, and he says, okay, I will, and sends him right back to the loading platform. However, that is still, again, good. You've stopped the Ziggs. If he had not killed the Ziggs, they likely would have gotten that first tower bottom, and that's a 4-2 Ziggs now. 4 does have Tempest, so overall I think a good trade for him in his position, however still not necessarily the best thing to have blown your flash on that. But CoCoMelon fighting back, they are not rolling over this game. They are saying, we will fight you, this is playoffs, this is semifinals. A little duel going on here between support and AD carry, however, overall, just right now a huge advantage, a level advantage coming in. LBK Elevate is just going right down again. Leona, I know you're great at going around and roaming, but girl, you gotta protect your Caitlyn. I'm your resident AD carry here, and you gotta protect it. However, Mega Inferno Bomb and Solar Flare, that's 2 giant pieces of CC coming in here. However, bro, I'm better than you might be saying, bro, I'm better than you, but bro, you might be dead too. Coming in here, dodges the axe, though. He is saying, bro, I'm better than you. Dodges a second axe. We'll see if he can make his way on out. Dodges a third axe. However, you can't dodge Smite unless your name maybe is Fizz with Playful Trickster, so does go down. But overall, stayed alive a lot longer than she had any right to be.
Yeah, did buy a lot of time. Oh no, absolute zero wasted. Dela trying to
preemptive ult. I mean, the Nunu ult is the deadliest. You cannot see that if he's inside that bush. You do not see that loading up. So a little bit of Sixth Sense here from Koopa Star. You got a teleport coming in from the side of Seraphine with the Stand United coming in. Kills off Elevated once again. Adela does have to blow the flash. Oh, the Encore misses by a hair. However, that does give the side of CoCoMelon the inside track on this second dragon for them, and that does set them ahead on a dragon that actually is going to be quite strong. If there's one thing you want against a poke and siege comp, especially against the Caitlyn and the Ziggs, it is bonus shielding.
Yeah, probably would have rather had the Ocean Soul, but you take what you can get. The Shen going back does mean the tower does fall. And I mean, it is worthwhile to be able to get that dragon. You get onto Caitlyn. Elevated has basically just not been allowed to play this game, partially due to the fact that Leona has been roaming so much. But it is kind of becoming a problem, and they need to start getting some play around her so that she can get farm, she can participate. That is half of your siege in your siege comp. You need to actually have some gold going into her. She's a whole item down right now. And that is really, really not ideal. Caitlyn generally is expected to come out of lane ahead in gold due to her ability to get the range, get the extra farm, and just zone people out. But with Bro, I'm better than you leaving her alone so much, Elevated has just really, really struggled this game.
Yeah, it's absolutely devastating. Being down, like there's the collector now on the side of Ethanonica, whatever. I'm just gonna call him Nika. I'm gonna go with Nika. That's a little bit easier at the moment. Nika's up a ton, being up 4 kills, having 51 CS lead, like 2 levels on this. This is absolute dominance. She might even be able to just 1v2 that bot lane, frankly, right now.
Yeah.
If she plays it right, she can just 1v2 that bot lane, because Caitlyn just melts, and Leona still does not have enough durability to outlast this Kai'Sa. Until she gets herself a Bramble Vest, she will not be able to out-sustain the damage that the Kai'Sa puts on out. And they might be looking for a little bit of a cheese bush here. However, we got some activity going around on this top side by the newly spawned Baron buff.
Yeah, won't be anything too crazy, but will just be the vision control game going down. Nunu, definitely one of the stronger points right now for LBK, so they can kind of play around the pressure that Nunu has. Still will be able to go kind of toe-to-toe with this Olaf at this point, at least until more help arrives. And right now, Braum better than you going in. TP.
You're just going to get blocked up by the Black Shield being able to sustain through a lot of that. However, you have everyone coming in, throwing everything and the kitchen sink at Nika, and he does go down. 5 men in the bot lane. Bot lane down. Top might go down. Jungle might go down. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is LBK Sapphire just going in and saying, enough is enough. Nika, you've had your fun. Now the rest of our team's going to just run you over. However, Braum better than you might be reaping some bad luck from that. A great encore hits all 5, and another kill onto the Aatrox, onto the Nunu. Great overall trade-off. However, they have lost now all 3 of their outer towers and an inner tower to that second Rift Herald. All in all, though, actually not too bad, though. If you look at the gold, so they are down 5k. 4,000 of that is just turrets.
I mean, okay, so
just standing gold from those towers.
It is standing gold, but it's also assuming that you're going to get the opportunity to get to those towers. You have to have the opportunity to get that standing gold. And right now, the push potential is non-existent. Nika obviously struggling to actually get pressure in the lane. The tower not falling, not getting down. The siege potential you saw with the Rift Herald there, Ziggs can just one-shot towers. Entirely. It was Rift Herald smash into the satchel charge, blowing up the tower, just complete shove potential from Ziggs, and that is so hard to deal with. I'm glad that they're taking good advantage of that. However, a great turnaround in that fight there, as we got another... Nah, that's just going to be the disengage. But it was a great turnaround with the Encore and the AoE that Seraphine had. Encore followed up by the E hitting multiple people, and just lots of damage coming through.
It looks like we might be poised for a fight here around this dragon. This will put CoCoMelon on Soul Point. Little poke going on to Helpful Servant. The big thing I want to focus on right now, though, is CoCoMelon have a better team fight. They are a better team fighting composition. They have more of the CC. They have kind of more of the damage they can put out if they get in the thick of it.
That's
all like at a disadvantage. Like they were at a 5v4 without their primary damage of Kai'Sa, and they came out basically on top of that. However, the missed encore might be absolutely devastating. It might not be the encore. It might be the end of the show here for that. Absolute Zero does do a ton of damage. Scar might be looking like going down. You've lost the jungler. However, you've traded jungler for 80 carry. However, when it comes to a dragon, you absolutely will take that trade if you're LBK Sapphire.
Yeah, and a huge miss encore. Big, oh, it's not done.
But now they lose their jungler, and they might lose Helpful Servant here. He is now just a dead servant. A dead servant is not a helpful servant at all. And this actually might be a great setup here for CoCoMelon to be able to just go grab this dragon. They have to back off.
I don't think they can.
They go Inferno Bomb here, so they should just be able to look to take this thing for free.
Oh, it's a little risky there. I think if Josh Wally was feeling up to it, could have poked them off of it, but does not want to run the risk of the bind or the taunt hitting, so that will just be the sole point. That was
being low on mana. That's just where you kind of have that risk of Ziggs. He went got that blue buff. I mean, quite low on mana, sitting about 10%.
After starting the blue buff, I think if before the blue buff was still sitting at like 40%, so did have a bit. However, importantly in that fight there, the re-engage, not what you wanted. You used so much of your team comp to get that first win, and you kind of didn't have anything left in the tank. Like you said, the team fight comp is more of a style that is favoring CoCoMelon right now. LBK, they can do those fights if they just poke a little bit and then kite out the fight like they did in the first half of that fight. The encore missing, and LBK, Elevated, and Josh Wally just kind of split up a little bit and just backed off, kept pelting damage through, and the Nunu bought so much time for the AD carry and mid laner to just get that damage down. But once they tried to re-engage the fight, they didn't have the absolute zero. Helpful Servant didn't have the health to really be able to do that, and it cost them big time.
Oh, absolutely. And also, just as a just some food for thought, it did end up being the Moonstone Renewer Seraphine, so playing the utility Seraphine, which I think in this instance is smart. Your Olaf is starting to get online, and your Kaisa is well online. She's looking like she's getting ready to go online in 4K here, so looking quite good here from being able to put that extra utility of just saying, we are putting everything on Nika, and hopefully your back is strong and your backpack is big, because we need you to carry us right now.
Yeah, important to note, too, we also have the Bramble Vest, we have the Oblivion Orb coming through, there's some healing reduction coming, which is going to neuter the Aatrox very well as the Nunu to an extent. But that is going to be a very big point of interest. We want to see that Morellonomicon coming through. Aatrox is a champ that is balanced all around healing, so taking that healing down a peg is going to help your team fight immensely.
Yeah, but you can see on the side of LBK Sapphire, they've got 4 healing reduction items on everyone except for their Caitlyn, who went Stormrazor second. I will get to that point in a minute on why I disagree with that, but that's going to be great for negating the healing that Seraphine will bring through her passive, the Olaf healing that he will have, as well as the Kaisa healing. So that is also going to be effective. It looks like they are just starting up the Baron. Adela's just saying, I'm a Nunu. I can just keep chomping away, and slowly but surely I'm going to be on it. Joined up now by LBK Elevated and Helpful Servant and Bro, I'm better than you. They're saying, you guys don't know anything? So we're just going to take this Baron, again, robbing the jungle blind as they were in the early game. They even commit the teleport from Josh Wally. I don't think that was necessary. However, they do now get that Baron for free. However, now there might be a team fight breaking out here. Solar Flare is committed to help the disengage. Everyone walks away with their lives. However, LBK Sapphire does walk away wearing purple, rocking that buff. And we've got 90 seconds onto that Mountain Dragon Soul Point on the side of CoCoMelon.
Yeah, and it was just a really good call from LBK, understanding the state of the game currently. They had their waves pushed in. This is the power that Siege can bring outside of just getting your towers pushed down. You also have the ability to keep all the waves pushed out, which gives you more jungle control, and because Nunu is so good at securing objectives and securing jungle camps, that is really helpful for him and allowing him to start off and get these dragons and Barons down very effectively.
Absolutely, about 50 seconds out from this dragon, definitely getting set up here. Now, if you are the side of CoCoMelon, you can afford to give this. You are allowed to give this if necessary. You know, the biggest mistake you can make if you're on 3 dragons and the other team is not, is we have to fight for this dragon, because if we don't get soul. No, they have to fight for the dragon, because if they don't, you get soul. You can give this if you're playing on the back foot right now on the side of CoCoMelon. They do not need to fight for this if they don't feel like they're in a winning position for it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tough call. It's kind of going to really depend on how this lead up to it goes. If they take too much poke, they are going to have to give it. However, if they can get off on the right foot, that is a fight that they can still win because they have that better team fight composition. They have to make sure they don't get kited out in this fight, though.
Yeah, some great damage going through. However, it's just going to be re-healed back up Ragnarok coming in, going hard onto LBK elevated, flashes, goes right in onto the Caitlyn, heals up, Shen's staying United coming in. They do try to kill Josh Wally, however, there is the stopwatch, a stopwatch by Scar. He flashes to avoid the satchel. Smart play from him. However, they are split up, and they have not killed the Kai'Sa. Nika coming on in, eliminates Bro, I'm better than you, and is coming in to say, helpful servant, help me out here, bro. Get me closer to Adela. Let me come in and pop the Void passive, and this might very well be sold. Now, the jungler is still alive. Adela can still come in, has Smite, has Consume, but you are not going to get out with your life if you are Adela.
I don't do this. Yeah, always going in.
Going in, but just going into dive. Smart by the side of CoCoMelon to say, let's put this dragon at about half, because we know that Adela does want to come in. We should keep it at half HP. He cannot come in and kill it fast enough. Another good general rule for all of you young comp players, at all your objectives, if you know that the jungler's still alive, if you know that someone's still in the area, you try to hold it around that 3-4K mark, so that way they can't just come in and just combo it to death until you know that you can secure it. But a great fight from the side of CoCoMelon, secures the soul, allows Nika to stay alive because they were splitting so much focus onto Koopa who just ran right into the backline, took out the AD carry, and went for the mid laner with Scar on top with the Stand United and just said, okay, your two main damage threats, they're out of the fight. Our main damage threat is being covered by a Seraphine and a Morgana. So she's not going to die. Yeah.
Big ups to the Seraphine, and biggest ups to Koopa for really getting that flash Ragnarok onto the Caitlyn and gunning her down very quickly, forcing them all to focus on Olaf while Aatrox could not do the same for Kai'Sa.
Oh, great damage, great charm coming through there, going right onto it. Oh my gosh,
which team is
Kai'Sa is just absolutely tearing into people. That's just when so she's got the Nash suit now, going for that slight AP build, gonna get the bonuses on all three of her abilities, and just every shot's gonna do a quarter of Ziggs and Caitlyn's health. Huge damage. Finally, they crack 2 of the outer turret line, getting some of that gold back, and we are less than 3,000 gold now. They were about 6,000, 7,000 gold down earlier, and because of these couple turnaround fights now, the siege doesn't matter because they can't set up for it. Caitlyn's almost out of mana. She will not have enough mana to lay down all 5 of her traps. And they just now get to siege on up. They don't even need Baron right now to siege this.
Yeah, the big thing too is because the siege comp is the goal here, it really relies on having that slight gold advantage, being able to just kind of outstat and poke people out. When a siege comp is behind, you just get engaged on and you lose fights. There is no threat of we can't engage the fight because we'll lose. If that is gone, the whole composition just falls apart.
Absolutely. So now definitely LBK Sapphire playing from that back foot. You've got Baron in 20 seconds, and this vision is going to get cleared out. The Scuttle Crab taken by the side of CoCoMelon game. However, there's still some vision up in their jungle. I believe Nice to Meet You is backing on a ward right now, and they need to make sure that ward does get cleared out, because that right there, that's your TP ward. If you are helpful servant, if you are Josh Wally, that is your teleport ward to come in to flank for a Baron fight if they go for Baron in the next about 30 seconds here.
Yeah, Baron still is a very strong possibility here. As we saw earlier, the Nunu can start it, can be very safe in taking it and just back out. Kai'Sa is alone up here. This could be a big problem.
Could be a big problem. However, she's got the Stand United coming on in. However, it is stopped. Scar is interrupted by Helpful Servant, helping his team out by preventing the Shen from coming in. However, does still get the shield, which dissuades Adela from wanting to come in to commit to the Kai'Sa. It was risky for Nika to go up there. However, with her team somewhat still in her back pocket coming up that river, was not able to get successfully pinched and critically killed off by the side of LBK Sapphire. Little sloppy from her for being up there that far without vision. However, her team was still close enough, so that way she did have their support.
That's still a really big cooldown, though, being used. Getting the Stand United down and just backing out. That was smart from Adela to say, okay, let's get this cooldown and just run out. We didn't commit much, and we got a huge win out of it. Let's not overcommit into Channel, because a lot of teams do that. A lot of teams see that Kai'Sa up alone and say, she's alone, let's kill her. Chenault comes, but they're like, no, we're killing her. She's alone. And they just get too baited into this. Now, that means Kai'Sa has backed to the base, there is no Chenault, and they can set up the siege on the Baron.
Yeah, but they don't know that CoCoMelon does have that ward on the top side. Teleport's coming in, though. That control where they put it, not there. However, the Encore does miss. Mega Inferno Bomb does come in, and it's going to kill off Koopa. However, Helpful Servant is trying to zone as much as he can. You got the Flash, Absolute Zero coming in from the side of Adela. However, it is now just a standoff. However, Adela might be getting hit. Baron is helping out, trying to make it a
Miracle, no!
Or Miracle Ward. You got to get out of there, man. Be more than a ward, my friend. However, also critically, look what's coming up. 50 seconds, Elder Dragon. And Nika doing a good job of stopping some of these backs with that W. Oh man, this is hitting critical mass, everybody. Less than about 2,000 gold separates these two teams. You've got two major buffs coming up here. I would argue at this point Elder is more important, because Elder is going to be what helps you end the game. Baron's going to be good for your push, but Elder's what kills everybody. And right now, if you're the side of
Baron,
yeah, they're going right for it.
They don't know where to see them.
Yeah, they're just giving it. They're saying, okay, go ahead, take the Baron. We're just going to take the Elder Dragon. You're the siege comp. You guys don't actually need the Baron. Like, yes, we need the Baron, but we can just kill you with Elder Dragon.
Yeah, this is a trade. I'm not actually sure how this one is going to work out, so it will just be the free trade. Elder gonna go down, I think, too fast unless Adela can make a hero play.
Yep, goes for the hero play, not enough. The Mega Inferno Bomb is there, however, we do have the flash minute from Josh Wall. He gets in, gets out. The Solar Flare is a good deterrent. However, again, that W coming in. Man, Nika is just landing all those are heat-seeking missiles right there coming out of the Kai'Sa. And you see the Elder Execute just popping in Elevated, who has not gotten to play League of Legends today, ladies and gentlemen. She is getting flamed. She's one CS from being Flame Horizon right now.
Yeah, this is looking really, really rough now. The Baron will make it a little harder to get these towers down, but just the pressure of the team fight alone. Helpful Servant is not beefy enough. Josh Wally, if he gets hit by anything, he is very quickly in kill range because of the Elder Burn. Cannot be that
Josh Wall is old. That Mega Inferno Bomb took 2/3 of Nika's health bar. That is a very large and in charge Ziggs. Sitting at full items right now. This Ziggs is large, and they do stun up Miracle Ward with the Solar Flare. They're diving in. They're going for this one last fight. However, Braun Better Than You is executed by Nika. Nika coming in with the double kill on the Aatrox. Give this girl a penta. She has earned it. However, Olaf, scumbag Koopa taking the triple kill. However, this might just be the end here if Adela and LBK Elevated are not able to contest this push, which I don't think they will be able to.
Yeah, Baron is only on the Nunu now, and just going to be the push. Should be the end of the game coming up.
Yep, there's not enough damage. The Caitlyn was set too far behind, and the Nunu late game, yeah, he's one tanky guy, but he's not going to be able to stave off 4 people who are just absolute. Like, you've got the high damage from Kai'Sa and all that support around her coming in hot at 39:03. The 8th seed CoCoMelon Gaming showing how they upset seed number 1 against LBK Sapphire 1-0 up on this best of 3.
Yeah, it was the Nika show. I mean, like, this Kai'Sa just completely popping off, getting a win in a lane that really should not have won. A little bit because Braun Better Than You left Elevated alone, but also some of that does go on to Elevated for not playing safely in some of those circumstances there. Big props also to Koopa for being able to get in that backline consistently. Even when Koopa did die, it forced the fight so far away that only 1 or maybe 2 people could come near Kai'Sa, and at that point, Kai'Sa is able to dispatch them very, very easily. This Aatrox not able to do much of anything in these fights, and past that early game where the siege really looked strong, it was just complete team fight domination from CoCoMelon.
Yeah, coming up strong. Like I was talking about earlier, that bottom lane linchpin on the side of CoCoMelon. That is your damage. Let her stay alive. Let her get to that late game point, and just, if you look at, pulling up the graphs here, Ziggs did the most damage. She did 38,000. Next highest was 33,000 coming out of that Kai'Sa. And then you look at the side of the Caitlyn, 10,000 damage. The Shen did more damage to champions than you did. Third lowest damage in the game, only passing the Leona and the Morgana, which is expected. So that's just that right there. That's bot diff. You did not press your advantage mid or top hard enough when you had them so far ahead early. And then Leona, you left your bottom lane just kind of out to dry, and LBK elevated. I mean, you weren't even really worth more than a cannon minion, or honestly a caster at that point in the game.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there. Did have a couple of good fights, but ultimately, yeah, Elevated was just constantly running away, unable to really commit to much in these fights, and it showed.
Yeah, absolute dominance from the side of CoCoMelon in that mid game, turning things around at those critical dragon fights and at some of those critical team fights from LBK, kind of overplaying their hand, and just was able to take down the critical targets, and just not enough on the side of LBK to lock down that Kai'Sa and keep her down. So GG, well played. We've got ourselves game 2 coming up here soon. I believe we will be going to a short break, and then we will be back coming into game number 2. So stay tuned, everyone, and we will see you soon. All right, welcome back, everyone. Game 2 of this semifinal match, CoCoMelon versus LBK. Sapphire. We had a very spicy game 1, and coming into game 2 here, what do we got here on the side here for us here, Thousand Eyes?
Yeah, right now we're starting off with the same bans. Teams are also on the same sides, so not much is changing here. I don't mind these bans staying kind of the same because these are very high-profile bans. The Seraphine is the one I did want to see change. If you're red side and the enemy team plays Seraphine at all, it is kind of a must ban, unfortunately. It is one of the weakest points of being red side. This does mean the Kai'Sa is going to be available once again. I'd love to see a little bit more of a focus on this bot side. It doesn't have to be the Caitlyn, but get something that either can play super safe like an Ezreal, or get something that can really play around this bot side and keep your support down there.
Absolutely. Hecarim coming in as the side of LBK Sapphire's jungle pick here, unless they're really trying to do something weird and putting that somewhere else. But that should be the jungler. Kai'Sa, a great first pick, especially after the showing that we got on her in game number 1. From Ito Nanika. Great job, and thanks to him or her for giving us the proper pronunciation. That Camille as the top lane here. So to your point on the Kai'Sa, they do pick the Morgana here. An interesting counter pick that I like to play is Swain into Kai'Sa. Swain is a very, very fun counter pick into that Kai'Sa if they were feeling bold and went for that.
Yeah, I mean there's a couple of different picks you can go. I am partial to the Bard, obviously. I think as a support, like playing into Kai'Sa is pretty solid. You can trade decently against her. The R is very good at locking her down because she has to have damage on somebody to ult in. So she can't really use it to dodge the ultimate. The Gnar going to be taken here against the Camille. This is somewhat of a Camille favored matchup if you are good at Camille. Helpful Servant looked really solid in lane on the Aatrox, so I think the Camille is also one that we will see do fairly well. It is all about trading while Gnar is in mini form. Camille can really blow up Gnar in mini form. However, in mega form, the fight goes very much more favorably for the Gnar. And yeah, the Olaf being picked up again, I think this is good. Get the backline access, get onto Elevated once again. Don't let him play the game. And now Hecarim Karma. Okay.
That Karma could be going mid lane, could be going support. Most likely is going support, but you could also flex that mid. Malzahar is banned out here. So my Swain point was actually playing Swain as your bot lane, not as your support.
Oh, okay.
So that's one of my personal counter picks into Kai'Sa because your claw just pulls him right in early and you get so much damage. I typically run Electrocute on him for the early damage instead of the Conqueror. So that's a potential option there. Unlikely based on the fact that they already have the Karma, which is likely support, so you don't want too much AP. However, speaking of APs, we got 4 APs banned out here. Galio, Ziggs, Malzahar, and Morgana all banned out here, so lots of support and mid picks. And the Ezreal.
Here we go.
Ezreal is coming on out. We'll see if he does go the very intriguing build of the Essence Reaver into Duskblade. That's been kind of the flavor of the week lately. And it looks like an Alistar coming in for the Kai'Sa. Great pick, especially going to get something like a Karma that you can just say, I'm jumping right on you, I'm going in. You don't get to run away from this cow.
Absolutely. The Orianna also going to pair well with that if that is locked in. But important to note here, the Karma is going to really cause issues. The Karma and the Ezreal, they're going to cause issues for this Kai'Sa in this early game, much more than I think the Leona and the Caitlyn did, because what we needed from the Leona and Caitlyn to be a problem was the engage potential. Karma, her roam is not anywhere near as good as the the Leona. Will be probably staying in lane and poking more. The Ezreal point that you made, I think Tyr is actually back to being good on Ezreal with the changes this patch.
For those who Romana might be the option. They do pick Victor as the counterpick into Orianna. From my understanding, Victor is always a very solid pick into the Orianna, is able to typically out-damage her and out-trade her, especially with that movement speed that he does get, kind of easy to dodge the dissonance into shockwave combination. So overall, very intriguing draft choices here. LBK Sapphire's backs against the wall, their season is on the line, and they are going with Camille, Hecarim, Victor, Ezreal, and Karma.
Yeah,
their options.
They're looking at a kind of similar composition, but a little bit safer. The Ezreal being much safer than the Caitlyn, obviously, and the Karma able to keep those carries alive better than the Leona would. The Victor here, I really like, is very strong into the Orianna, has much more push power in the early game against than Orianna does, and like you said, does trade very well because Orianna's shield forces her ball back to her, so she cannot trade and get the shield on herself at the same time. So Victor plays very well into that. One of the things I do watch out for Victor is if you focus on that mid lane early, Victor can pop off and go hard. There's two kinds of ways that Victor can go in a game. He can either play safe and scale up by getting his passive points with the minions, or he can go off the rails very early because assists and kills give him 25 stacks, and he can evolve his abilities very quickly if an early skirmish comes out.
Yep, absolutely, and what I'm kind of seeing here, at least the way I'm viewing LBK Sapphire's draft, I'm going to focus on them for a little bit since they are the team down 0-1. They should look to get mid and top ahead, and you play the 1-3-1. You play with those two side laners, those two very powerful and mobile side laners. In those side lanes, you try to split push these people to death. Because otherwise, CoCoMelon, again, they've got an amazing team fight composition built up. Mega Gnar, Ragnarok, Shockwave, and the Unbreakable. All great tools to engage and to protect the side of this Kaisa. Just is able to help tear these people apart if necessary.
Yeah, and I am going to be watching this top lane fairly closely. Like I said, that should be Camille favored if you get the matchup. If you understand that matchup, Camille can win that. If you don't, though, Camille will get punished fairly hard because she will get poked down by the mini Gnar and that all in by the Mega Gnar. So it is a little bit of a variable lane, can be a little swayed one way or the other. And with these junglers on both early game picks, this is going to be a little bit of who gets the early snowball going. Adela obviously not going to be on that Nunu once again, but will have the early gank pressure, especially in the mid lane. I think Adela, if I'm Hecarim right now, I'm looking at this mid lane as a very early gank possibility, especially when you have Victor who wants to get off the ground.
Yeah, the mid lane's really the only lane that you should be able to realistically gank if you are Hecarim. Again, if Scar understands how to play Gnar, especially into the Camille, then it's just, he's going to save jump until after Camille tries to go in, you're not going to get the opportunity. Orianna's the only one who's not really mobile. You come in to the bot lane, nice to meet you, just says, meep, and I'm going to hit you on out with my headbutt. So
is that what he says?
Sure, we'll go with that. More of a moo thing, but you know, we'll go with the meep because why not?
Just like a very happy meep.
Meep. See you all later. However, one thing very important right now to the 20-some people we got here in chat, give us those hashtag CMG win or hashtag LBK win for the team that you are supporting here. Do you want there to be 3 games, or do you want that good old-fashioned sweep from the side of CoCoMelon Gaming?
Yeah, I really think it's going to take a turnaround in this bot lane here. The picks are better. It will give them a little bit of an early game advantage in terms of the poke. If Ezreal does go for that tier, it's going to be a little bit of a slower roll, but obviously Karma and Ezreal, the goal is get this Alistar low before the level 2, level 3 point and make sure he never has an opportunity to engage, because Etonanika is going to really, really pop off if Alistar has the free range to move up.
Absolutely. You know, after Alistar does get 6, he does become quite the tanky boy with that Unbreakable. So it is your job as as elevated and brawn better than you to try to insert a little bit of dominance in this lane just with the poke. You do have the natural poke advantage. However, they had that last game and they didn't really utilize it. They didn't really abuse that much. So it'll be interesting to see on these two different picks, very poke oriented picks, to see what they can do with it. You know, LBK Sapphire, again, their backs are against the wall, down 0-1. Playoff finals berth is on the line here. So we'll see what they can do versus the side of CoCoMelon Sapphire. We are heading, though, to a break, ladies and gentlemen. Stick around. About a minute time from now, we'll be jumping on to Summoner's Rift for Game 2. CoCoMelon Gaming versus LBK Sapphire. See you all soon. All right, everyone, welcome back. Game 2 here. We've got CoCoMelon Gaming on the blue side, LBK Sapphire on the red side. Some wards going down early. Game 2 of the semifinals best of 3 series.
Yeah, teams are just spreading out here once again, looking very similar. The Orianna, definitely a great pick for that level 1 to counter that invade. They're gonna see a Adela here. Wants to get that ward down in the same spot. I think they want to make sure that Adela gets punished for going on this bush ward again.
If they're looking for that, or they might be looking for some early game cheese.
Oh, it is.
They are
stepping
up with the Alistar. They're saying, nope, get on out of here. Hecarim's likely going to have to burn the ghost. Adela does burn that ghost. Still gets the ward down, though. So, was it actually worth? Most likely, yes, because he got the summoner. But if he doesn't,
summoner, this Hecarim is half health already. We'll clear fine, but you don't like to see it.
Yeah, you hate to see it happen, but that is the way it does. He still gets the ward down, so if that was his mission, then congratulations, my dude. You accomplished your mission. Some early trading going off here between Josh Wally and Miracle Ward. Starting on those top sides, respectively, saying we're going to get our top camps, again, going for this full clear style. So let's see what these top, bottom, and mid lanes have for us. A little bit of trading going on here on the side of the bot lane for both squads.
Yeah, the Ezreal here needs to get poked down without getting in range of the Kai'Sa. Really don't want to ever be trying to trade in that range. I think you're making a mistake. The goal right now is just get the Q down, Mystic Shot out of the range. Level 2 will come through early, though, and that is very unfortunate here.
Yep, the early level 2 from the side of Ejanika and Nice to Meet You gives them the huge advantage. They do catch up, though, on the side of LBK. That level 2 in bot lane is so critical. The first one to get that absolutely just demolishes in terms of pressure. Playing really aggressive, though, on the side of Scar in this top side.
Yeah, but this is where it gets a little rough there. Helpful Servant gonna take some poke down, but getting a lot of damage onto the Gnar. What is important here is when Gnar does transform, Gnar does get just basically free health. The mini transformation back still keeps the health gained. There is the engage.
Bounce flash, though, from the side of Helpful Servant, trying to dive in, forces the flash out of Scar. And importantly, though, Koopa does secure that bottom Scuttle Crab with support of his squad. Does get some pressure and some help from them, so good from him. He's not getting Jungle Kingdom as he was in last game by Adela.
Yeah, but already TP having to be burned here by Scar because of that bad trade. This does open the opportunity for a bot lane gank with the TP. Which obviously Ejanika is the player to watch for CoCoMelon here. So that could turn into a big problem if Scar's not there to answer it.
Yep, and it does open up the option for just that teleporting, not just for bottom, but for that dragon. You will not have to teleport back up your Scar until about the 10-minute mark now. So you can imagine the dragon's likely going to be taken before that mark.
Yeah, Boots coming through on that top side here, and now looking at this mid lane, the poke coming through on Miracle Ward is fairly good, as Scar's going to transform here soon. There we go.
Forces Helpful Servant to back off with the Mega Gnar, however does have the back. Likely will actually have to burn the teleport, though. The waves is a little bit of a weird spot where you might have to burn that teleport to catch up on all that experience.
Yeah, so now the back will come through, teleport gonna be matched, so now the goal will be to just wait it out, hopefully try and get your TP back up, make sure those even back out. Koopa just farming through here, will farm out fairly successfully, and it is going to be the tank Hecarim. I have seen too many Divine Sunder Hecarims, at least until tomorrow. The tank Hecarim is the build right now. going for the Turbo Chem tank gives you a lot of burst because of Hecarim's passive, and it makes him do basically able to stay in that front line where he generally would not be able to otherwise.
And critical for him to get onto Etanika. Just, you want to be able to have mobility against this Kai'Sa, so a great option from him in combination with having the Karma and the Camille to be able to lock down that Kai'Sa in the late game if necessary with the Hextech Ultimatum. Some trading going on here in the top lane. Some pings towards the Scuttle Crab in bottom side. Looks like they might be looking to try to set up for that early dragon here on the side of CoCoMelon.
Will just be the back here now. Adela just getting a little bit of farm. Sheen is up on Helpful Servant. That is a big tool to help that trade go even better than we already saw. And now, nothing major happening so far. I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen too many ganks from the junglers yet. Miracle Word and Josh Wally both hitting that level 6 point. The Shockwave really opens up opportunities to actually gank this Victor now, so I feel like it's a little bit of an opportunity missed by Adela to not get on early.
Yeah, but Scar is jumping in, uses the Gnar onto Helpful Servant, takes her to about 3/4, and Helpful Servant says, okay bro, I've got grasp, I'll just back up and maybe come back again and heal on up. But it looks like we might have a gank coming in here from Adela, looking to run in on Miracle Ward. Great flash from Miracle Ward, though, to avoid that gank. Hecarim still 5, uses the Shockwave onto Josh Wally and Adela, does poke them both on down. Gravity Field does stun up Miracle Ward with the Chaos Storm flash and First Blood over onto Adela. Amazing heads-up play from Josh Wally to stick around that fight, landing that Gravity Field and the Chaos Storm. However, you got Flash coming in and unstoppable from both Adela and Ragnarok.
Wait!
Oh my gosh, a bloodbath again. This Olaf wanting to say, I want to fight, and he gets in, flashes in, gets the double kill 2-0, and the fight's not done. But wait, there is more, folks. Bro, I'm better than you is saying, I will trade with you, nice to meet you, and there's a couple trades back and forth in this bottom side. Holy crap, Thousand Eyes, take away and evaluate what just happened there in that mid lane.
Yeah, nice to meet. Well, first off, a little bit of a missed call there in the bot lane. Nice to meet you going and getting the stun on the Ezreal rather than the Karma, who was further up and lower health. So unfortunately, not being on the same page on the target acquisition. But in that mid lane there, the Shockwave looked great from Josh Wally or from Miracle Ward, and it looked like maybe Josh Wally was going to go down, but there was just not enough damage. Once the Shockwave went down, there was nothing left in the tank for Miracle Ward, and there was no reason to walk back up there. Luckily, Olaf there to clean up afterwards with the Ragnarok and helping out the team, but that really could have gone a lot worse if Olaf was not around.
Absolutely, and Olaf barely got out of there, though. Was still sitting around 150, 200 HP at the end of that fight, but my, how the turntables have turned. Now you've got Koopa on the front foot of this jungle matchup. Up 2 waves of CS and having that extra kill, plus the double kill bonus, does set him up for some success here.
Yeah, and now Koopa looking for a gank on this bot side here, looking to see if Elevated does get a little bit greedy. If a shift goes down from Ezreal, that's gonna be the call. Bro, I'm better than you. Going really deep in.
Oh my gosh, tragedy strikes. Nice to meet you. Flash, exhaust, and headbutts. Bro, I'm better than you. Right into the waiting arms of now a 3-0 Koopa Flash out of LBK elevated, and just now another lane kingdom coming up here for the side of CoCoMelon Gaming.
Big mistake there from Bro, I'm better than you. You don't know where Olaf is. You have to play like he's around. Unless you're tracking the jungler really well and you know exactly where he is, you cannot play that aggressively into an Alistar who still has Flash available.
Yeah, and honestly, even without the Olaf, it's still an Alistar Kai'Sa.
Yeah.
They're both level 6. Like, the Flash is always an option. You know,
yeah.
It's like if you're playing against a Skarner. If you don't know if his Flash is up and he's got R, he's got Flash R.
Yeah.
He's gonna punch R on you. But we got an invade going in here from Adela, but it's just a drive-by to see the butcher murdering some chickens. He wants some chicken for his butcher shop later. Brawl better than you, clearing out some vision here on this jungle. And it looks like Adela is trying to start up this mountain dragon here. Does get some vision down. They should have the inside track here. However, Miracle Ward is meeting up.
No, not again.
You forcing the flash out of the Karma.
Yeah, Karma just having to get away, but it will mean the dragon is going over. They're not even going to try and contest that. And now Ezreal backing. I'm curious to see if we get the tier or not. That would be 2 tiers on the carries here, with Victor also going for it. Now it is just going to be the early Sheen. Going to be the Essence Reaver into the Duskblade, which I think is still a fine build. I personally think... Oh, wait. Hold on. Scar.
It does come down onto Scar, sitting right outside tower range. Just flash. Oh, it's the bonus damage from the tower. The 2 hits. Helpful Servant, my man. You had a way out, and you went right back in. Oh, tragedy strikes in that top lane for the side.
Hextech Ultimatum. It was just not far enough away from the tower. Scar got just close enough, and Helpful Servant, instead of recognizing that and giving the space needed, got greedy for it, wanted that kill, and paid the ultimate price for it. Gnar now ahead in this lane. That is an issue for Camille. A Camille that is behind is not very helpful, outside of maybe getting Hextech Ultimatum on aid and Uber carry.
Yep, and they forced Adela off of that Rift Herald and the teleport out of Helpful Servant. It looks like they're going to be grabbing that Rift Herald prior to plate dropping, so hopefully they're able to utilize that to get that efficiency on the gold here, getting that bonus 320 gold. What a play top lane, both the outplay and the patience from Scar, and that misplay on the side of Helpful Servant.
Yeah, that ultimately too, that is kind of just the domino effect of how that went. Helpful Servant died in the top lane. It meant Scar then had the opportunity to just push for free, and then Koopa Star, while seeing Adela going for the Rift Herald, was not able to keep doing the Rift Herald purely because his top laner was dead. So they lost the Rift Herald essentially because Helpful Servant threw that lane in the top side.
Yeah, I'm not sure right now if he's a Helpful Servant or if he's a double agent, because it seems like right now he's helping out the side of the other team. But the other thing too with the Ezreal was the fact that you didn't early back kind of signaled to me at least that he's not going tier. His first back was at about 74 CS. If you're going tier, you're backing as soon as you get that gold for tier, because you want that stacking early. But speaking of stacking, they are stacking up in this bottom bush. They are looking to get on Zenodika, and he does get the flash. However, gets on out with the ultimate. However, we got teleport is coming down here, stacking in this bot lane for a fight. Josh Wally does flash run out though. Hecarim goes, Victor flash teleport. Don't know why we went and did that Gnar there, but you know, we went ahead and Scar wanted to show off that he's Gnar.
Yeah, good disengage there once the TPs came through. Unfortunately, did blow the flash there from Josh Wally. Needed to be done, otherwise the shockwave was going to be an instant kill on the Victor. Etanika getting out with the void, or the killer assault, killer instinct. I cannot use words.
Oh, we got another fight going here. Ragnarok popping through. Bro, I'm better than you. No, man, Roloff is better than you right now. However, he's helping out. Good guy, Olaf, smacking Josh Wally back to the safety of his tower. What a nice guy.
Yeah, bro, I'm better than you once again. Kind of just not having a great game here as Shockwave's gonna hit.
Josh Wally coming low. That's gonna be the kill coming on. Miracle Ward takes down Josh Wally, and they've got 3 people mid and the Rift Herald.
That's a problem. Yeah, this is starting to get out of control. One death is leading to another because of the death in the top side. There was no TP from Helpful Servant to follow into that bot lane. That fight could not have actually worked out. Then you get caught out by the support there, and now the mid laner falls without any kind of pressure because Alistar can move into that mid lane now with the enemy support being dead. There's so many domino effects happening that really are just being taken advantage of well by Coco.
And again, the tables have turned. Adela's being the one who is stuck inside his jungle. Bro, I'm better than you. Getting down in those kills, getting 0-3, but what a turnaround on the early game from the side of CoCoMelon here.
Yeah, CoCoMelon really just punishing the small mistakes here from LBK. It is looking rough right now. The Ezreal still waiting on an item, and Etananika has the Gale Force ready. The ability to pop people with that extra damage is going to be there.
Absolutely, and they're setting up perfectly for this second dragon. Should be no contest from the side of LBK Gaming, and it is not LBK Sapphire, and it is not a contest at all. Does grab that dragon. I mean, you got a 5-0 Olaf on your hands right now. What do you do if you're LBK Sapphire right now?
I mean, the good thing that you have here is if you have carries that are playing against an Olaf, you'd want them to be carries like an Ezreal, kind of like a Victor. Victor, not obviously great, but it is able to, once he has the Q evolved, gets that extra move speed, will be able to kite out a little bit and can do damage while running back. So Ezreal, Victor, decent carries into the Olaf, but at this point there's so much damage that it feels like if he gets on anybody at all, they're basically going to get blown up. Seeing the Everfrost actually come through on the Victor, I like this pickup. It adds to his ability to kind of like catch people out and blow them up. Basically will make the gravity field a guaranteed stun if you get hit by that.
Yep, Everfrost definitely a more prominent item now on Victor, Silas, and Ari. So you residential mid laners out there, if you're playing those champions, pick up that Everfrost. Fun item, also great on Twisted Fate, from my understanding. We've got a dive here from Scar, going right on in, forcing the heal out of Elevated, and just saying, bro, why'd you heal? You were gonna heal up by Fountain anyway.
That's awful. Why is that possible? That sucks. Like,
it's called one thing.
Stride Breaker, yeah. that is Stride Breaker in action, and that is an Ezreal that is behind. That is Elevated in the same spot as game 1, just being left alone, and Scar able to just kind of run him down. Josh Wally now.
The lash pulverized into
this
the
is
shockwave into his Gale Force. Scar is buying as much time as possible. Does end up going down, but that's committed 3 people. You've traded your mid laner for the top laner, and yes, it's a good shutdown onto Scar. However, what is it costing you? And right now, it might be costing you that mid lane tower.
Yeah, that's a lot of attention just to get a kill. Not even get much in terms of push pressure. You lose the mid laner, you lose that tower, a lot of damage on that mid lane, and Koopa Star, yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, getting that down will be very helpful. Basically, with the way that CoCoMelon are playing right now, the Rift Herald is going to be very, very influential. They're basically catching people out. They're getting picks. As everybody is split up, we're not seeing groupings happen. So if somebody dies and the person with the Rift Herald helps in that pick, it is going to be a huge, huge lane push to be able to come through with the help of that Rift Herald. It is basically going to crack open the base if someone dies and the Rift Herald is ready to go.
Yeah, and the side of LBK Gaming, I don't think they have, like, they've got some decent siege that they can manage with, but they don't have the same siege that they, siege power that they would have had in game 1, so you know, the Victor and the Ezreal and the Karma can kind of help clear things out, but I don't think that there's going to be as much there as they would like to be able to stave off the Orianna and this Rift Herald that they've got coming up.
Well, the big thing that is scary is this Alistar right now. He can basically just kind of dive with impunity as long as that ultimate is up. There is no real world where they can even feel safe under these towers because of just how long Gnar, Alistar, they can just sit under there forever and not really care.
And they can sit under there with an Orianna ball on it.
Yep. It's terrifying.
However, Helpful Servant is trying to get some poke off. However, he does not have the help. But he thinks he does. Ghost coming in off of Adela, and he does all-time Hectech Ultimatum used as well to try to keep Scar under tower. And The True Shot Barrage coming in, but splitting the uprights here, dodging it from everybody. And it's a great attempt from the side of LBK Sapphire, but you're just too far behind right now. You can't really win anything off those fights.
Yeah, Dragon is going to be spawning in 30 seconds, so good attention to detail here, making sure the bot lane is pushed up so they have that right-of-way into the Dragon Pit. Mid lane and bot lane here, you can see all of LBK need to stay back and actually clear these waves, which mean they cannot get vision control of this Dragon, and that is almost assuredly going to be the second Dragon for CoCoMelon.
Yeah, but Miracle Ward needs to watch on out. He is getting, however, the flash with the shockwave. However, if you got flash falling up from Josh Wally, he getting the kill here. Does kill that Orianna. Trades flashes and ultimates. That is kind of actually, I think, the best play you could have gotten from the side of LBK right now. Yeah,
I think LBK made the smart call. They said, we're not going to get that Dragon. Koopa Star, though. No, okay. They recognized they could not contest the Dragon in any realistic sense, so they went up on the person who was alone. Almost got out, though. That was a really good shockwave flash, because the Hecarim also pushed Orianna further back. But flash from Josh Wally will confirm that.
Yep. A great, kind of doing the best with what you got there. Being behind, you just need to look to picking up some table scraps. That's how you get yourself back into the game. Pick them up little by little. If you go too big, then you just end up getting caught with your hand inside the cookie jar. And right now, up until that point, they've been playing with their hand in the cookie jar. However, Dalo looking to try to go on in. Misses, though, on the charge onto Koopa Star. Instead, it hits Scar, and Scar says, okay, but Scar misses the Gnar after jumping on in. However, Shelly does not miss when it comes to hitting those towers. Does get on in, and now they've got all the poke they need to hopefully lead Shelly into an inhibitor.
Watch Alistar with the ball. Alistar has the ball on him right now. It is kind of just waiting for that perfect shockwave moment. And that is kind of what is deterring the engage potential here, because if they try and dive too deep, it will set up a perfect shockwave for Miracle Ward, and that's not something they can risk at this point.
Yeah, but great patience from the side of CoCoMelon, because they also know that if they dive too deep and they get aced, Baron is up, and LBK can still find their way back into this game if you misplay too much.
Yeah,
it looks like they're just kind of resetting here. Everyone's kind of recalling, buying some gold, buying some items with that gold, and just getting ready for probably Baron as the next fight.
Yeah, but that is kind of the problem right now with the way LBK's comp is set up. They don't have a lot of kind of get back into the game potential. It is going to be reliant on a mistake coming through from CoCoMelon, right? They're like, just look at the team that is on this LBK side. It is the Hecarim is the only one that can realistically try and force a fight.
Yep,
and not anymore.
Shadow is forced out, trading for the Gnar. However, he does get to secure the Rift Scuttler, so that does give them at least some vision if the side of CoCoMelon do go for that Baron. You do also have in that time Helpful Servant helping his team out, grabbing that bottom lane tower. Does give them some semblance of pressure. This Camille is starting to get herself turned online, though, now that she's got that Triforce and Ionia boots.
Yeah, she's starting to get to that split push level, but I feel like even now Gnar is still capable of fighting her. It's going to get harder as the game goes on, but I think Gnar is still at a point where that fight will still favor him. And with that, all that pressure put into the jungle trying to keep that vision, it opens up the mid wave, which is going to mean the tower goes down.
Yep, that is the 5th tower of the game brought down for the side of CoCoMelon. Really great job and really proactive plays from them. They're now going to recall, likely pick up some other items, probably a couple more control wards, and just spread the field and clear the ward board. Getting ready for that Baron or that 3rd Dragon for them in 70 seconds.
Yeah, taking a look now just through the items here, as all the mythics have come through. Just looking for anything interesting here. Actually, not all the mythics have come through. Ezreal, obviously still working on that, but does have the tier. So it has the tier, has the Essence Reaper. The Duskblade will be coming soon, and that is a big item for the Ezreal. Will mean a lot more damage coming through, but Elevate is getting caught.
Yeah, speaking of damage, you've got this tank Olaf who is still saying, I'm 5-0, and I want to throw some butchers and some meat at you, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Does stop LBK elevated from recalling.
He's dead.
It's already blown. Everything, and now he's just blowing the wind inside the graveyard here, sitting inside the fountain. Adela tries to move things off, but you're getting another great Alistar pulverize. But the missed shockwave, a great onslaught of shadows from Adela, does keep him alive, and you did actually blow that critical cooldown from the side of Miracle Ward.
Yeah, Helpful Servant going for this fight, but yeah, does not win it.
Oh! Critically does get out. They both blow their flashes. He is about to turn Neganar though, and he's just gonna Gnar right into the wall. Says, sit down, pony. I'm not gonna let you do that to my team. However, bro, I'm better than you is trying to say I am better than you. However, you've got an entire team saying, bro, you're not. And now we all back off and we go for Cloud Dragon.
Yeah, this will give Soul Point to CoCoMelon if they get this. Right now, it is a little bit risky here. Scar not going to be Gnar. Scar not going to be big anytime soon, and Miracle Ward and Nice to Meet You are decently low. Keep your eye on Etananika. Gonna be really important in this fight if it does break out, but the poke coming through from the Ezreal is gonna be hard to deal with at this point. The Manamune...
And that poke, you got a flash. A great flash from Josh Wall. He does dodge on out. Shockwave though does grab two. Going into the Hexagon Man, does keep Koopa in there. Use the Ragnarok before the ultimate, so does not get to ignore the confines of Hexagon Ultimatum. Gnar doesn't end up going down to the Camille. Braun Bear was trying to get him out. However, Nice to Meet You is there, but it's run back over. The cow is taken home, and Etananika is taken down. An amazing shutdown coming in from Adela, and then you get the ace, and that's looking like that should be Dragon and Baron as the prize for LBK Sapphire.
Yeah, LBK playing that fight really well, but unfortunately that was just also a bad call from CoCoMelon there. They did not have the health bars to put themselves in a position where a fight was going to break out. Elevated, while he did die, got two people crucially with that True Shot Barrage, got Scar and got Miracle Ward. And after that True Shot Barrage hit, it was way too low for them to actually be able to fight. And now they actually might not be, might actually risk losing this Baron. Scar does TP in.
Yeah, you did. While they didn't use the teleports for the dragon fight, which I think they should have recalled, and then teleport back in for that dragon. They did then have them to be able to dissuade Sapphire from going in on this Baron, like utilizing that double TP.
But yeah, in that dragon fight is okay. We are going to be able to talk about it. In that dragon fight, importantly, Etananika went onto the Ezreal, and that was the only person that Kai'Sa actually got onto. By the time Kai'Sa got to the rest of the fight, it was just everybody else had died.
Yeah, and without that Kai'Sa and without a front line to really protect the Kai'Sa, she's not big enough. She's not the same level that she was at this point in the game last time. She only has 2 kills. She's not sitting on 7, 8, 9 kills and flame horizing the other 80 carry. She's at the same level as the Ezreal, and you still have a level 15 Camille and a level 15 Victor that say you're still just an 80 carry. We still do a lot more damage. However, getting caught out, bro, bro, right now you're not. You're just getting caught out. Not even have to burn the shockwave, just the headbutt pulverized with the dissonance from Miracle Ward. Takes him down, and now their eyes are on Baron. However, you do have the teleport coming in from Helpful Servant.
This is very desperation now for LBK. They need to try and dissuade this Baron.
True Shot Barrage does come through, does about half damage. Nice to Meet You comes on in and hits a couple. However, you do have... Oh, Etananika does go down. You trade your top for the 80 carry. That is absolutely worth it if you are the side of LBK Gaming. 1 for 1 with that Hextech Ultimatum. Great dissuasion
Yeah, very good. Very good from help.
Getting caught here. On/outs does come on through.
Oh!
CoCoMelon is getting hit by the Baron, by the Ezreal, by the Hecarim, and can he get on out? I don't think he can.
Yeah, whale fall. This opens a huge Baron opportunity now. They took too much time, and now Olaf is dead. Very crucial in that fight, too, for Helpful Servant. Getting onto Etonanika, recognizing who is the big threat, who needs to go down, killing the Kai'Sa. Miracle Ward also taking a lot of damage in that fight. With those two basically out of it, it is basically just the retreat for CoCoMelon, and now Baron going for LBK with Olaf falling.
Yeah, what a critical moment for the side of LBK Sapphire, and honestly just a blunder from Koopa. I mean, I think you kind of knew that they were still kind of sitting around there, and you're just trying to clear out vision when you don't have any of your team's support. That's just greedy.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple of times here, though, just from both teams. Roam Better Than You starting that whole thing off, just getting caught out. So really just these teams kind of getting a little greedy over vision, not recognizing where the enemy team may be, and using their abilities correctly to check these bushes and unworded areas here. You've got the Olaf axe. Obviously, you don't want to use it that way in a perfect world, but it's better to use the Karma Q or the Olaf axe into a bush to make sure that it is safe instead of walking in and giving free 300 gold.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, getting set up for the dragon here. 45 seconds, third dragon for both squads, so not getting to soul. However, this will put both of them on soul point to whoever gets it. And you are getting the back off from Adela, so it does give an opportunity for CoCoMelon to clear out some of this vision. And we've got Koopa going on in, already uses the Ragnarok, going in on Helpful Servant. However, he is almost dead. And we've got the Shockwave coming in. I'm Here to Meet You is trying to fight him. However, Helpful Servant again is the sacrificial lamb to lock down Etonanika. Adela is trying to stay alive. However, how long will he stay alive? You do have the full lash on out from Karma. Keep yourself alive. They do take down Miracle Ward. Alistar does go down. Koopa does go down. It is a absolute bloodbath coming in. Scar is trying to fight, but he is just going to be a scar on that riverbed. Wow. You have LBK Sapphire coming in for the spoils of war, getting that third dragon, and being able to now critically push and crack that outer mid tower.
Yes, you smell that? You smell what that is? That is a game 3 that is cooking up right now. We've got LBK starting on the push here. A great fight for them. Once again, True Shot Barrage hitting very key members in that fight. And once they get low in there, they are really just able to run the rest of the team down. The damage threats have to back off, have to play safe. And with the extra burst damage that Helpful Servant has, he's able to jump onto this Kai'Sa, blow him up, and immediately just take the fight way in their favor. This Camille is nowhere near as valued as the Kai'Sa for CoCoMelon, and with Camille just diving in, taking out Kai'Sa every time, these fights are just going to keep going in favor. The Duskblade has finished. The Muramana has transformed. We are at the point where LBK's just scaling has started to eclipse what CoCoMelon are able to put forward.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, LBK Elevated has now joined the game. He has now entered the building. He is now officially online.
Connected.
Duskblade, Muramana, Essence Reaver, Ezreal. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare to watch some serious Q damage.
Yeah, this is scary Ezreal time. Josh Woolley also going to pick up this blue buff. Level 18s are coming around fairly shortly here. Both top and mid. You can see the level differential here too. Look at top and mid. At the mid lane difference is 2 levels right now, and that is very big in these fights. Just the extra bonus stats from those levels are really helping out in terms of just the extra health that you're getting and all of the extra bonus stuff. So really good management of waves and picking up the experience. It seems like there's a little bit too much running around trying to get the advantage from CoCoMelon, and it's starting to cost them now.
And critically, not having that level 3 Shockwave on Orianna versus having that level 3 Chaos Storm on the Victor is going to be critical. So right now, if you are CoCoMelon, how do you put out this fire? How do you stop this dish, this Game 3 dish, from being cooked and plated and served on up?
All right, so I want you to cast your minds back just about 10 minutes ago when there was an Alistar hiding in a bush. And Bro, I'm Better Than You walks up and just dies. That is basically what needs to happen going forward if you really want to try and get things done. It is basically turned into a situation where you need to get picks in order to make the composition actually work. The Kai'Sa's burst damage is very, very much going to be focused onto one person. The poke damage, if they try and just sit around and go back and forth on these fights and not actually commit to getting one person down, they are going to lose these fights over and over again because the Ezreal and Victor poke is way, way too strong.
So what you're saying is they need an EU Death Bush.
They do. That is really kind of just the big point that they need to recognize here. They have the lane priority in this mid lane to be able to get vision down. Baron is spawning soon. I want to see deeper wards from CM and get this jungle control so that they can make these picks.
Yep, well, first thing they've got to do is they need to clear out some of this vision so that way LBK can not be as wise and as vigilant in what they've got. However, LBK says, okay, you'll clear out our vision, we'll clear out yours, and we still have a little bit of vision. They do critically have a ward sitting all the way up by that top inner tower. That is an extra teleport ward if necessary. And we also have Dragon, Soul Point, coming up in 40 seconds. It looks like they're likely going to want to fight for.
This is a bit of a rough point here for CoCoMelon because they have to both take care of the Baron but also make sure the Soul Point does not go over. A Cloud Soul on a Hecarim is really, really scary. A Cloud Soul on a Karma, also very scary. Like, all of these champions really, really do enjoy this Cloud Soul. And that going over is really, really gonna hurt, but they can't give this Baron over either. It is a tough lose-lose situation for him.
Yep, and at this point, unfortunately, it looks like he might have to, but they're not going for the Baron right now. They're trying to play the dance, and right now, at this point, if you're CoCoMelon, Orianna, you should be on this Dragon. You should be taking this Dragon. You have teleport. You have wards inside here, but she is actually choosing a starter play, going for the mid lane.
Yeah.
Okay. You all want to take this?
You gotta answer this.
I'll take mid inhibitor, and she does get the tower down. We do have the ghost coming in from there. Gnar coming in, and Onslaught of Shadows. They're coming in, jumping right in on Edonika. However, she stopwatches a smart way, uses her ultimate to get on out. Killer Instinct comes on in. Helpful Servant is diving in and trying to kill. However, Helpful Servant will likely end up going down. First kill of this extended fight. Adela is almost down. However, heal coming in from Elevated. Stopwatch here coming in here from Miracle, and 1-for-1 health bar.
What is this fight?
This is the avenue that they needed to come back into this game.
Oh, yeah, Orianna's still pushing. They just need to stop the backs.
That's all they need to do to win this game is stop the backs. Adela is trying to sail. However, oh my gosh, Edonika just takes him down. Alistar comes in. Nice to meet you, says again, meep. With that headbutt pulverized. However, they do get two back. Orianna is low. The shockwave just comes in. LBK Elevate does come on out. However, that is now the Cloud coming on up. Will the... Nope. Rock will not hit.
Oh my god, that fight was absurd. It was so back and forth. The teams were on the opposite sides of the rift that they should have been. And really crucially, like, I want to give a lot of credit to CoCoMelon for that call, because that is a hard call to really make in the moment. But what you're looking at here, you have the Victor and Ezreal. They don't want to start the Baron because they don't have the tank stats to be able to sit on that Baron safely without losing if they get engaged upon. So what they did is they tried to buy time and say, like, hey guys, you gotta engage on us. We don't want to start the Baron because we'll die if you engage on us then. But without the Baron, we can play back and forth forever. So Orianna says, okay, guys, well, I'm going to go take your base in the meantime, and if no one answers me, that's just a win for us. So that was a really, really smart call, which forced the fight. Orianna then TP'd into that fight and just really got a huge shockwave. So major props to Miracle Ward. And now we are looking at Baron with the pressure built off of that inhibitor being taken.
Yep, Braun Better is going to get caught on out. This should be a very, very free Baron and a potentially free Karma here. However, they are backing off. But absolutely, that great heads-up play. You do have Helpful Servant trying to help lead that minion wave in. However, just going to be led into slaughter at the hands of Scar. Very good heads-up play, and that's what you really need to do. In those critical situations, you need to force them to make a choice. And when you give them multiple choices, teams struggle in multiple choice tests. They struggle. Yeah. With being able to make these decisions of saying, okay, take Baron, we will take your base. We are, and the thing is, the shoe was just on the other foot moments before from LBK by saying, well, are we going to take the dragon or are we going to take the Baron? We benefit from both.
Yeah, and that.
But then they hesitated.
CoCoMelon's secret third choice.
Management.
Yeah, CoCoMelon found the secret third choice that was just hidden under the paper and just said, well, we'll just take the base. So now that gives them
2 doors, and they said, no, we've got a third door. We took a sledgehammer and just said, nope, door number 3.
Yeah, they built a door out of nothing, and now Baron is theirs. They need to try and get something going with this, though. I want to see them go to another lane here. I think this top lane is going to be the call. As it should be, is the closest lane. Just
okay, what do you know? We have a EU Death Bush being potentially spawned right here.
Oh, this is so scary.
I'm smelling some old school Fnatic here. They're just out. They're not doing too much.
They're letting Orianna push this wave up, and here comes Kaisa to help with that. Yeah, this is what you need to be doing. The mid wave is going to push by itself. You don't need to go over there. What you want to do is get up to this top side. Now this is another kind of lose-lose situation of we need to answer the mid wave, but we also need to protect our top lane here. The engage basically needs to be very, very precise, and they need to kind of soften them up beforehand. Elevated, not able to hit these Qs onto champs here.
Yeah, and a smart move from Koopa to actually grab that mid lane wave to clear that out. So that way you're seeing right now, both these lanes are crashing simultaneously. So again, you are forcing choice. Scar's jumping on in, trying to get that Gnar. However, LBK Elevated does jump on out. Have they bitten off more than they can chew? Adela does come on in. However, he is getting blasted by Kaisa. However, there's a lot of fights going on here. They do get down the tower, though. There is nothing stopping the base right now, nothing around the base. However, they are dead. Scar does go down. However, Adela going down. Koopa is trying to fight on up. LBK Elevated is low, but he is still alive. Oh! Just try to jump on in. However, they do get out with their lives. True Shot Barrage is up in a few seconds, though, so do have to be careful with not taking that damage. Dragon Soul is coming up in 55 seconds. A very great and strong play from the side of CoCoMelon. However, also actually a great hold from LBK as well.
Yeah, if that had gone any worse, that would have been the game finishing off there. Ezreal just barely getting out with the flash, and the Hextech Ultimatum just buying a little bit of extra time, but with the base cracked open, this is very scary. There are 2 teleports, remember. There were no wards placed down, so it is going to have to rely on a minion getting into that base if there is a TP kind of like split push finish. But this is now, once again, just gonna have to be the soul given away. I don't think there is a world in which you can contest this if you are LBK.
Yeah, and Cloud Soul will be devastating on the side of CoCoMelon. All of those ultimates do so well with movement speed. You want an unbreakable Alistar running at you, you want a Ragnarok Olaf just setting up.
That's the scary one. Let's be real.
What?
That's the scary one. The Ragnarok Olaf running at you at Mach 20 is
yeah, with an Orianna ball on top.
With an Orianna ball, you got the Kaisa too, Killer Instinct, and then just boom.
Yeah, this is at this point we are approaching ludicrous speeds here, sieging down onto that middle inhibitor. There is only 1 tower left in this game on the side of LBK. and they are trying to poke out and outlast as long as they can. Everyone besides sports are level 18 at this point. People are approaching max items, so one more fight, at least on the side of CoCoMelon, will likely decide this game.
Yeah, and that is also a big thing to mention too. It is only going to take one mistake for CoCoMelon to end this game. It is basically going to have to take multiple wins for... Oh, here we go.
Adela not wasting any time, saying, screw the rules, I'm jumping on in. They did critically get Etanika locked down, however, utilize the Killer Instinct later. Does kill off the Camille. Nice to meet you, is low. Koopa Star jumping on in along with Scar, trying to kill.
They don't have the damage.
Get off Miracle Ward. Adela is still alive, running down Koopa Star, and he's gonna take him down. However, the base is under attack, and you do have Scar teleporting all on
he's not
in. You also have Josh Wally jumping on in, though. He is moving around. Will he be able to do it? No, Scar will not. He did give his damnedest effort, though.
Yeah, the TP was kind of a desperation call. That is a bit risky now, though, because the death timers are hitting very high levels. Just in that fight, there was just not enough damage. Etanika not able to hit enough people, not able to burn through these tank lines fast enough. The Camille is getting fairly beefy. The shields from the Karma are very, very helpful at this point, and the Hecarim is full tank, so he is not easy to take down.
Yep, and critically, the Hextech Ultimatum from Helpful Servant landed on Etanika. The last fight, that was not the case. So with that landing, it was just like the Kaisa does not get to go anywhere. She doesn't get to go past Go. She does not get to collect her $200 or
TP.
Okay. And we do have a teleport coming in from Miracle Ward. This needs to be the miracle play to keep them inside this game. Adela does jump on in. Miracle Ward is locked up inside her stopwatch. Does get Hextech Ultimatum and is killed. Nice to meet you is going down as well. And LBK secures the Baron.
They have to go back to their base, though.
Running back in, though. He wants to try to delay as long as possible. However, he just goes down.
Scar, no, don't do this. You have a family. Yeah,
he tried to kill his family.
Well, his family's dead, but he did have a family, okay? Like, now, this is interesting, because now the inhibitors are respawning here. Baron is on LBK. You've got a lot of opportunity now with the inhibitors back up for some pushes to come through. It also means that backdoor potential is going to go away. We have another Elder Drake in another 2.5 minutes. Baron will still be on for another 30 to 60 seconds at that point. And now the big question is, can CoCoMelon start a fight that is not just a full 5-on-5? Because I think at this point they do not have the front line or the damage to be able to pull off a 5v5 fight. The Ezreal is very online. The Victor is pumping out damage that the Orianna cannot keep up with. And Kaisa is just not anywhere near as strong as those two combined. So this is starting to become a problem, and these 5v5 fights, like, CoCoMelon need to figure that out, that they just don't win 5v5s anymore. They have to make a pick.
Yeah, and honestly, the pick needs to be, on my opinion, on Braun better than you. While this Karma is 1-4, look at the third slot. 17, she has so many items right now that are buffing up the rest of her team. When in doubt, kill the healer, kill the shielder. You want to take
Shieldler.
Yes, the shieldler, new word.
Yeah.
You want to take care of this Karma, because if you kill this Karma, then they do not have all that sustain that they've been feeding off of to keep this Ezreal, to keep this Victor alive. Yes, you still have to deal with the front line of Helpful Servant and Adela, but by killing Braun better than you, that does give you an opportunity to say, now it's just damage. It's no longer about the shields, it's no longer about the heals, it's just about who can do more damage.
Well, and the fact that this Hecarim is entirely tank, those shields are pulling a lot of work on him too, so he can dive super deep, has the base damage to still be a threat onto Kaisa, and the shield is hard to break because of all the extra resistances. So it is a real issue. Elder Dragon going to be spawning in 30 seconds. Because of the Baron buff, the extra push has been earned by LBK, so they're going to have the first crack at it.
Yep, trying to set up some wards here from the side of CoCoMelon. However, that push is coming in. Baron buff is going to fall off here soon. Baron buff is now fallen off. So now it is back to an even state. One thing, though, to critically remember. It is still just a defenseless base outside of inhibitors. So if they decide to again play this game of chicken of which door you choose, they can. CoCoMelon can go for that. However, they are jumping in. Adela coming right on in for that fight. Helpful Servant jumping on in. However, you got the Shockwave coming on in. Nokia, they might get Helpful Servant here, and they do finally shut her down. However, they're just shutting her down temporarily. She's got the Guardian Angel. She's going to pop on him. However, they do finally get that critical kill on there. Another kill does come through. However, that Scar, he does go down. Guardian Angel is now down 4v4. You've traded top laners, but again, remember, the base is exposed outside the inhibitor. Adela is trying to go back in. However, the lash from Superstar with the stopwatch trying to stay alive. Gravity Field does protect. Nice, he does jump on in. However, he goes down. Oh my gosh.
These fights are so back and forth. The extra poke damage is becoming incredibly crucial there. Miracle Ward just is getting way too low to contribute in these fights. The engage from Nice to Meet You was so good. Oh, goodness. That's an Anika. You gotta be careful.
Star and Etanika are gonna try. However, try as they may, it may not be enough. However, Adela is low and he is not contesting this dragon right now. Oh my gosh! Koopa Star does steal the dragon.
That's
Adela,
my god.
What are you doing?
That's not where you need to be. That is not where you go as the jungler when you're doing Elder Dragon.
Didn't have smite. His smite was.
Oh my god! He did not have the smite.
Rule number 1, everybody. Do not go for objectives unless you have Smite, Consume, or Cho'Gath Feast.
What is this game?
Or Callista Red. That was your episode of League of Learning.
Yeah. Or Nunu Consume.
Yep.
Trying to think if there's anything else.
What a back and forth. We are sitting at a combined gold amount of 190, about 170,000 here.
Yeah, this is it's a little bit absurd. This is a little bit much. We are closing in on an hour minute game. Yeah. I can't words anymore. We are hitting that point of the broadcast. And we might have another game, which
I know. I mean, I might need to go across the street and grab my purple Red Bull at this point. I mean, this might be getting hype, or it might just be ending in an instant. This is sitting on an edge of a knife. So let's see. Let's see what they want to do now. Posting up around the Baron. Give me the play for LBK.
Right now, they need to get another good engage from Adela. Has been hitting really, really good onslaught of shadows, which force Etanika to use the killer instinct immediately. If that is not used immediately, and then Camille cannot follow up on it, that is really where the fight starts to break down. Baron, gotta be started here. Miracle Ward can help them tank this very easily.
Remember, you do not want to necessarily fight them head on. However, Nice to Meet You does come on in. Onslaught Shadows from Adela does come on in. However, there's just too much damage with the Elder buff, the Execute. Koopa Star and Miracle Ward going low. The missed Shockwave from Miracle Ward. However, Ezreal is online. He does kill Nice to Meet You with
Instinct.
And Killer Instinct coming in from Etanika does get the kill onto that Karma. That critical shielder is down. I'm going to use that word now from now on. Etanika trying to, again, put the team on his back. Misses the Void Seeker. But
this
now you
is
got Helpful Servant is mid. He is going down mid lane. You need to stop the recalls here if you're the side of LBK. You do have Scar. He's back on up. He's going to defend his base with honor.
You can't fight this. Camille is way too strong at this point.
Yep, the Hextech Ultimate does come down. However, Scar does have the Gnar. He tries last as long as he can. He does get on out with the defense of his turret.
No, this is not a TP.
From Josh Wally. Josh Wally, you're just... Oh my gosh, you missed the Shockwave.
Oh no.
And now Adela does come on in. Miracle Ward coming on in. Adela trying to stay alive. Adela does stay alive. Miracle Ward, can you survive? Can you 1v9 this game? I don't think you can at this point, my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to game number 3 here of this semifinal matchup.
What in God's name did I just watch?
I believe that's what we call North American League of Legends. Or
That
as
was
the kids call it, a
yeah.
fiesta.
Yeah, North American indeed. I do not have words.
At this point is just laughing. Oh my gosh, that was insane. That was a crazy game. Nearly 60 minutes, 55 minutes of that game. Like, you had upwards of 50 to 60,000 damage on some of these champions. That was an insane amount of damage as Ezreal came online. 51.7k damage. What an incredible comeback showing. And also just what an incredible throw. Like, the turntables have turned. CoCoMelon has such an amazing early game, and LBK had the mid to late game team fights.
This is, I mean, obviously, like, kudos to the teams for being able to kind of go back and forth like this, but there's also just a lot of things to take a look at in this game and pick yourself up on. Just the face checks coming through multiple times. I feel like late game, a lot of the team kind of just forgot what the win conditions were. The 5v5s were just not working out, and they kept taking them. The scaling was not working out, and they just said, like, well, we're gonna keep trying to get this and force these fights when they just couldn't. Big props to LBK for being able to win that, but I do think this is a good bit of a throw from CoCoMelon.
Yep, absolutely. What a throw from them indeed. And so we are still, we're going to be getting ourselves into game 3 here, though. We'll see what happens. And right now it looks like we have another game of blue side from CoCoMelon and red side from the side of Words Are Heart of LBK. Sapphire. So give us a minute. They're looking like they're already rearing to go. We are going to take a minute. I need to refill my water. We need a bit of a break here on the caster's desk. We are trying to work hard here. I'm trying to regain my casting chops here, ladies and gentlemen. But an amazing game. Get hyped for game 3. Spam the chat. Grab your friends. Grab your popcorn. Grab whatever drink you got. It is somewhere at this point St. Patrick's Day for people. So if you're old enough, grab your Jamie, grab your Guinness, grab your Irish breakfast. Let's get ready to go. Game 3 coming at you in just a few minutes. right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Hope you got your popcorn. Hope you grabbed your drink, because it is game number 3 here. Coming at you, CoCoMelon on the blue side, LBK Sapphire on the red side. Game 3 of the semi-final series here from Style Esports. Season 6 playoffs. We got Rumble, we got Hecarim, we got Seraphine banned out already.
Yeah.
After that craziness of last game, what do we got, Thousand Eyes?
All right, so we are seeing some definite mix-ups in the bans here. I want to keep track of what is going to leak through that has been banned before. The Hecarim obviously is a new one. The Ezreal being taken out as well, forcing Elevated onto something a little bit less safe, because I think that was part of the issue. They could not really punish Elevated as much as they wanted to, and so they're going to force him onto something that is going to put him in a much more rough spot if he is focused down. I'm curious what this last ban, it is going to be the Fiddlesticks. So right now, as opposed to what we had banned away in game 1 and most of game 2, the Gragas is available, the Yuumi is available, the Anivia is available. Those are 3 picks that have been basically kept away from everybody the entire game, and it's going to be that first pick Gragas taken up.
Gragas is a strong pick both in the jungle and top lane, and also if you're really feeling spicy, you can play it in the support role, so it could be a pretty strong triple flex if they want to use it, likely going into the hands of Scar in that top lane. Let's see what LBK Sapphire has as their potential counter pick going into the Drunken Fat Man.
Yeah, we will see. It is definitely favored more in that top side, but both Koopa Star and Scar have that in their champion pool. The Camille is going to be taken once again. This is Helpful Servant's main champ, so not super surprising. It is still a little bit of a rough matchup. I believe that the Gragas actually is favored in terms of if these two go straight on and slam into each other. It is the body slam that goes in priority over hookshot. So it does mean that if Gragas holds onto that body slam and waits for Camille to try and engage, there's always going to be an answer to that.
Yep, and LBK Sapphire actually picking up the Kai'Sa. So saying, you know what, we've let you had fun with this for 2 games. It's our turn now. Maybe to show you how you close out a game with Kai'Sa in game 3. Xayah being the potential answer here. Xayah, fairly underrated and underplayed AD carry in my opinion, so that'll be interesting to see what Etsunanika can pull out there with the Zyricon Lovers duo matching up there on the screen, matching up in the lane.
Yeah, this one has been contested. It has been banned away, I believe. No, I am incorrect about that. I apologize. But yeah, so getting the Rakan down. This is Nice to Meet You's top support, so we are getting a lot of comfort in this last game here. The Galio got to be locked in now. I don't know entirely where this is going, because
most likely be going to support, just because it's a good counter into the Rakan.
Yes.
Use that instant taunt anytime he tries to battle dance on in.
Well, the reason I say I don't know is that like neither the mid or the support really have this in their champion pool as far as like ranked games go. So we'll have to see where that is going. It seems like CoCoMelon believe this is a mid lane Galio. They are banning the Yuumi away. They want to make sure that does not get on to onto the support here. Bro, I'm Better Than You has that in the pool. And now Anivia. So we're seeing a little bit of what we did ban in the other games, banned it now, just to make sure. Which I can understand.
Banned on out. Galio could go in the mid lane, especially let's just all remember Camille Galio ults basically overlap each other and can really make whoever's inside that Hextech ultimatum feel like they are in the bounce house. Karma being the most likely final ban coming out here from CoCoMelon. Not one to deal with all that poke and that shielding that they had to deal with last game. So getting rid of a lot of that in those last 3 bans of Ezreal, Yuumi, and Karma. Banning out 3 of the champions that they ran into last game from LBK Sapphire. So let's see what they're going to go potentially as a blind pick here, unless they are picking the support.
Yeah. So This is a very, very different type of composition being built up here by Sapphire. They are running a much more engage-heavy type of composition. The Swain being hovered here. This would definitely be pretty solid into the Galio. Even when you're taunted up, you are still able to put out some damage with the ultimate going, and you will just kind of put a lot of burst damage in. Galio, while he is a mage, or he does resist magic damage well, he does not like ranged matchups very well. He is much better against the likes of Diana or Akali, fighting those types of champions. When you get into range, he kind of just becomes an ult bot fairly quickly. Renekton is going to be the last lock in here. CoCoMelon really going hard on this mid-game push here. The longer this game is going to go, the worse it is going to get for them, because they do not have terribly many scaling options here. Just the Renekton's going to fall off. The Gragas in the jungle is not really going to be a huge impact in the late game. Swain and Xayah are okay, but when your front line starts to falter quick, it is a rough time.
Yeah, speaking of front line, we've got front line on the side of LBK Sapphire, the Camille, the Galio, and the Dr. Mundo. Those are three champions you do not want to see if you're CoCoMelon. You do not want to be running to those things. It's an interesting flex by last picking that Renekton, so confirming that the Gragas is not going to be the Gragas top we've been seeing a lot in China and Korea for the pro scene, but the Gragas in the jungle going against the Dr. Mundo is favored for Gragas kind of early. However, once Mundo does get that level 6, it's just Mundo going where he pleases.
Yeah, and really one of the things to keep an eye on is just the state of these champions under their own towers. Once Mundo is level 6, if they get low enough, Mundo can dive pretty much with impunity. The Morgana will also allow him to just literally go wherever he pleases. And
Galio will be there right to back him up.
Yeah, it is a lot of dive potential. The goal here is not very dissimilar to what CoCoMelon were running in the last game. It is hit people with CC, follow it up, and just slam down the gas pedal and get Kai'Sa in there to do damage. Important to note, similar to CoCoMelon in the last game, LBK's damage is very heavily weighted on elevated right now. So once Galio starts falling off, it is very much going to be on this Kai'Sa to pump out damage. Mundo, while he does a decent amount of damage for a tank, he is not a DPS threat, especially when you have Xayah who can kite him out very well, Swain who can heal through a lot of the damage. There's so much placed on Elevated right now, and considering how rough Elevated has had, I feel like that is a very, very hard call to really put faith into.
Yeah, absolutely. It's looking for Elevate to have a carry performance, and I mean, while he did come online later in the game, the early game was still rough for him, and you're running into what can be a very abusive early game team, especially in this bot lane of Zyra Khan. Getting all that extra mobility and the extra feathers out with their combined passive, it can be an absolute nightmare. And again, if Brawl Better Than You is not going to step up in this game, you're just going to kind of end up running into the exact same thing we saw in Game 1 and the first half of Game 2, and that's just a lot of support deaths and an AD carry that's kind of set on the back foot.
Yeah, so really, really, really important here in this bot lane. Bro, Better Than You needs to manage that Black Shield cooldown well. If that is used at the incorrect time, this Rakan will be able to dive in pretty freely. If it is not used, if it is held on to until Nice to Meet You tries to go for an engage, it can turn a fight around. With the bind as well, there's a lot of opportunity to catch this Rakan out. It's just really going to be heavily on this Morgana to make the right call.
Yeah, absolutely. Bindings and Black Shields are going to be critical for this Morgana because Rakan with Battle Dance and the quickness gets a lot of CC, which is free pulls for the Swain, and if that Renekton gets to slice and dice his way in there, and proc the Dominus. Like, that can be quite the tear. Again, onto this Kaisa, and onto this Morgana, and frankly the Galio too. The Galio is not going to be too tanky against the Xayah or Renekton, unless he really starts to itemize a lot of armor.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a very explosive mid-game. Looking at these champions here, this top lane, Camille does not really care for this top lane matchup. It is going to be a just try and scale up into the late game matchup here and split push, because Renekton will just completely body the Camille, and that is definitely not what Helpful Servant, I think, is looking to actually do. I think Helpful Servant was expecting that Gragas, and will just have to basically play a lot safer. Still has the ability to hit that Hextech Ultimatum with the Galio Ultimate coming on top, so that's still going to be good for them, but definitely going to be a bit rough if Camille falls behind super hard and then they go in for these team fights. That is even more pressure on Elevated to get damage down.
Yeah, absolutely. This Elevated needs to elevate his game and elevate his team right now. LBK Sapphire wants to take game 3. He showed some signs of life later in the game in game 2, but that's on a late game Ezreal. That's on a Q-bot. Let's see how you can do on a champion that actually relies on going in and diving and much more punishing positioning with how aggressive and offensive you have to play on this Kaisa. Make sure you guys are spamming that chat with whichever team you want to win. Hashtag CMG win or hashtag LBK win. This is going to be a spicy one. It's game 3. It's for all the marbles. It's for a finals berth here in Style Esports Season 6 playoffs. CoCoMelon on blue side, LBK Sapphire on the red side. We're going to take a short break here, and when we come on back, we're going to be on the Rift for this third and final game of the night, of the morning, of wherever you are at. So stay tuned, and we will see you soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you hear the announcer. Welcome to Summoners Rift. Welcome back. Game number 3. We've got LBK Sapphire. We've got CoCoMelon. We've got, again, their potential 5-point into a potential cheese here on the side of CoCoMelon, looking for potentially another time, saying third time's the charm, right? We will get the kill this time on Adela if he tries to come in for this ward. 2 games have been spicy. One was kind of short. One was hecka long. And so now we get to game 3. Let's see if we can maybe meet in the middle here.
Yeah. I'm kind of hoping for it. It is getting a little bit late here. It is 11:46. And
here it's 11:46, and our producer, well over in the Serbia area, it is like 3-4 in the morning for him. So give him a shout out.
it's
5
yeah, it's
give a
almost
shout
5.
out to Lil Pony in chat for standing up, helping with the production here, everyone. Show him some love. But also, Helpful Servant is trying to show anything but love in this top lane. Going with the Ignite teleport. Hyper aggressive from her. What are your thoughts on this, Nice?
I think it's bad. Like, to put it bluntly, I don't think it's good. I think as Camille, you don't really. I mean, granted, I am not the best top lane player, and these are matchups that I don't have the greatest of knowledge on. But to me, Camille does not win this matchup. Renekton is an early game god. You don't want to try and fight him in that early game. And without that flash to confirm the Galio to follow up onto this Xayah, that is a huge late game nerf to yourself that I don't think you needed to opt into.
Yeah, definitely a potential weakness in the team fight. We'll have to see if Helpful Servant is able to make some plays with this early, because if you do not make plays early as the Teleport Ignite top laner, that is just a real big disadvantage, because you should be able to look to win that. But right now, just kind of trading back and forth. The first time we're actually seeing Koopa and Adela starting on opposite sides of the map. Koopa opted for the red side start. Both of them opted for the red side start and are making their way into the other side. However, we might have a gank coming in here from Koopa going in. Does land the root onto Josh Wall, forcing Josh Wally to flash on out or risk his life. A great early gank, and we'll see if that pressure does come back to haunt them now with the flashless Galio.
Yeah, very crucially getting that body slam in front of the Galio to make sure that the dash does not get over and away from the gank. Will force the flash. Meanwhile, now is the top side. Scar definitely struggling a little bit more than I expected here. Trading pretty consistently. Ooh, Helpful Servant tanking that tower shot. Going for the dive here.
And he does walk on out with the Ignite. Blows the flash. He stacked that wave so well to get it in there, but now Miracle Ward is coming on in. You got the taunt from the Galio. You got the cleaver, but
nice.
You got the flash with the smack coming off Helpful Servant, and that costs Helpful Servant his teleport.
Adela, turn off the W!
Adela almost gets on down. Josh Wally is going on in, but he might just be going back to Fountain. He does. Miracle Ward coming up right now with an early Miracle play, getting himself ahead because of that flash being down on Josh Wally, not able to get on out. Adela a little bit too aggressive in that mid lane as well, and we've got, again, once again, a very spicy game.
Yeah, the action coming out hot and heavy in this one, and the top lane, I was wondering if Scar had stayed alive a little bit longer, that could have been a clean gank, but I can't talk. There's more fights.
That's alright, luckily.
Okay, yeah, just the trade.
Is Smart able to utilize that black shield and just say, nope, we are not going to fight, we are going to let our color caster speak his mind and say the words he needs to say. But we do have this bottom wave crashing in. They're stacking this wave and looking to have this crash in, and we do actually have the battle lines coming on in. The lash out of elevated does blow the Ignite off Nice to Meet You, and now you just get to crash this massive wave into the tower, looking for that potential first tower plate.
Yeah, they don't want to run the risk of getting in range of that Morgana bind. She could just walk around those minions, get a lot of pressure down, so they are just going to let the minions do the job. But yeah, as I was saying, I feel like if Scar had played that top lane a little bit safer, that would have been much a good setup for a gank there to be able to just get that Camille without running the risk of Renekton dying. But Miracle Ward, in the meantime, just 2v1ing in the mid lane and then just now completely controlling it. The fact that Swain is already really winning this matchup is very, very rough.
Absolutely. You are getting absolutely punished if you're Josh Wally. Jumping in nice to meet you. I don't know why you're jumping in there. You already see the black shield on it. But once again, Josh Wally just getting pulled in by the Noxian General here of Miracle Ward. However, Miracle Ward is now completely and utterly out of mana. He won't be able to do too much more in this fight without a recall, but it looks like he's going to be clearing out some vision. Going for that recall, he does have the option to teleport back in. That is the summary he has chosen for this game.
Oh, Etanika getting hit by the bind, but Elevated is too low health and low mana to even risk walking up. Falling behind in lane against Xayah is one of the worst things, because when you walk up, you are always running the risk of getting caught out, not just for more damage to come through, but on the possibility of a gank follow-up. So those feathers are just a huge no-go zone for Elevated right now, and it is starting to show in that farm.
Yep, absolutely. And Helpful Servant, again, being pretty smart with his wave management, getting a lot of these waves, like double waves crashing onto this Renekton. Scar is not getting any agency in this lane. That's going to, while he does match the CS, you are getting zero pressure, and you're slowly but surely going to get bullied out by this Camille with more aggressive summoners.
Miracle Ward is just stacking these souls super quick. Bot lane pressure is gonna get them this dragon. Adela basically just will have to walk out on this.
Yeah, Mundo pre-6 is not gonna be really that strong. He's not being able to go where he pleases right now, and he needs to get himself to level 6 in order to actually have much of an impact. A great first dragon over on the side of CoCoMelon, getting themselves set up, forcing the bot lane recall as well. They should be able to get a plate or two on this bottom tower if they so choose to stay. There's plenty of mana and HP on this Lovers Duo bot.
Yep. Meanwhile, topside, Renekton starting to get a little bit more comfortable in this lane. Has the Phage already, so has a little bit of sustain built in now. Helpful Servant just really taking these trades well.
Yeah, he's definitely navigating Camille very well, clearly showing a great mastery of this champion, understanding the good trading patterns there. I think I've played maybe Camille. Actually, no, I've never played Camille in my life, so I cannot speak to much knowledge on how it works and everything. But overall, seems like he understands her well. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But Josh Wally does not seem to understand how well Miracle Ward is playing right now. Force the flash out. However, Miracle Ward does not understand that towers are stronger than champions right now at this point, bro. And he pays for it with his life. Does get the flash out of Josh Wally. Scar, again, getting bullied out in this top lane, but what a misplay from Miracle Ward in the mid lane.
That's just so greedy. That's so greedy. You're already winning the lane. You don't need to do that. You're punishing this Galio hard. You could sit there and farm the stacks. This freaking Swain already has 15 stacks at 9 minutes. That is very, very fast for a Swain to be able to get that many already, especially in a solo lane where you have one less target. This is going fine. You don't need to run that risk of diving there, especially when you don't have a stopwatch. You don't really have any damage items yet. Just take the back.
Yep, we just hit level 6s here in this bottom lane for both sides. We do have LBK kind of getting a lot more priority in the bottom side of the map, this bottom side of the river. However, that does open up Koopa Star to now go for that Rift Herald on the top side, basically right on spawn. We'll see if they recognize this and go for a punish, or if that's just another free Rift Herald over to the side of CoCoMelon.
Yeah, so looking at first items here coming through this top lane, the Sheen will be talked about later.
Miracle Ward being jumped on, flashed on by Adela, and just taken down. Getting in range of that Galio taunt. Yes, while as Swain you are somewhat strong, you can just get abused so hard. However, Koopa Star was able to grab that Rift Herald, so at least he died not completely in vain. He was able to help his team be able to secure that objective.
Yeah, that ultimate for Swain just barely not off cooldown before he died. And we'll just go down fairly easily. Josh Wally able to salvage this lane pretty effectively now. And I do want to touch on these items that are being built so far. It is going to be the AP Gragas and
coming into this top lane though. Sorry to cut you off here, but we've got Scar coming in, Hextech Ultimatum, and the Hero's Edge coming on in. You do trade out the windows for it, and you've got the Featherstorm coming in. Flash grabbing onto LBK elevated. Brawl better than you does have to flash on out. You've gotten both the summoners off of LBK elevated and a second plate. We've got the flash onto the Gragas coming on in. Does use the cask and take him down. However, Josh Wally does come on in. He's out of mana. However, Koopa might be running out of HP, but there's no mana for Josh Wally to come on in and finish off that kill. Back and forth once again. 100, not even 100 gold separates these two teams right now.
Yeah, very back and forth, but on opposite sides of the map here. Josh Wally getting a little bit more done now with this Galio, now that he has got the level 6 coming through. TP.
Help coming in from Helpful Servant coming on in here and saying, Etanika, remember me? I'm going to take you down once again.
Knock-up
on that Camille. Yeah, great knock-up from Nice to Meet You to dissuade Helpful Servant from getting that stun off with the hook shot. So great job there, but very heads-up play from Helpful Servant, utilizing that teleport advantage and just immediately going to the lane that they can kill in. Koopa looking, though, for the kill, does immediately bop. Stop and drop. Brawl, I'm better than you, and they're looking to try to stay on elevated. However, Mundo is level 9. He does have the ultimate, and he is looking to say, I will go where I please, and I please
get away from me.
Alright, nice saying, please get away. You have a Helpful Servant is coming around the back, looking to potentially pinch him off. Koopa is kind of low, does regain off by drinking some of that grog. Adela is getting poked on out, forced to come on out, dropping the Rift Herald though, and they did burn the Swain ult at this point. So the Swain ult is on cooldown. They are going to crack this bottom tower first though at the 12:45 mark with that Rift Herald already down to 2 plates. However, LBK do get to grab that dragon. Kind of a little bit sloppy, in my opinion, from CoCoMelon. I think they could have gotten both those there.
Yeah, I absolutely think they could have just left the Rift Herald to do the job of that tower. It was going to go down in one charge anyway, and then you walk over, grab the dragon, or at the very least contest it and force LBK to really actually kind of fight for it.
Yeah, I guess not feeling as confident, but there's a little bit of a skirmish going on here. Etanika does get locked up by the Dark Binding and Tormented Soil, however, no follow-up there from the team, so kind of back to neutral. Miracle Ward is low on mana, so he should be looking to back here soon. I think he was trying to get enough gold to be able to get his Leandries, but turret plate's about to fall. You got the tower in the bot lane, and we've got another potential skirmish or fight going on here in the top lane. Helpful Servant versus Scar, but trading just back and forth right now. Not a ton, however, Nice to Meet You is coming on up saying, let's make this a party. Let's come in for the 2v1. Does pop Dominus, and we do pop the quickness into the Hextech Ultimatum, but it was too little, too late. The Hextech Ultimatum actually stopped the quickness from being able to come immediately right on in. A great ultimate, whether that was intentional or not, from Helpful Servant to keep herself alive and again punish Scar in the top lane.
Yeah, I honestly have to think that was intentional. Helpful Servant just completely blazing through this top lane here with the 4-2-0 scoreline, and now will be trying to get out here.
Has he bit off more than he can chew? And indeed he has, and Gragas says, have a drink, my friend. Helpful Servant, take that drink, go back to Fountain, think about what you've done. But yeah, a lot of pressure still mounting up, but these overstays are starting to cost.
Yes.
Speaking of overstaying, staying over a little bit. However, you do have Scar coming to
good flash.
His aid. But Miracle Ward does end up going down here. And it looks like Scar might be next up on the menu. Josh Wally flashing on, ulting on out. You've got the flash from Scar coming in, but the soul shackles from Brawl Better Than You do come through, and again, just another bloody game here. 15 kills in 15 minutes, kill per minute, and the fight is not over. Etanika is coming in, goes for the kill, does get the kill on Galio, and they're about to get double kill now over on Bro, I'm Better Than You. This Xayah is online with the Gale Force with 3 kills. Now is in that deadly, deadly state.
Yeah, has the Gale Force now. So this is a pretty terrifying Xayah to deal with now. With the Gragas, the burst damage coming through, there is enough burst to really pop through anybody that isn't named Dr. Mundo or maybe the Galio here. This is getting a little sketchy right now. Here comes Quickness.
Well, it's locked up by the Quickness. The Gragas ultimate does miss, but it doesn't matter. With the Quickness down on top of Adela, it just means 3 hits for Etanika and just takes him down halfway through this mid lane tower. We get some more damage here onto Elevate. However, top tower is also almost down on the side of CoCoMelon.
Yeah, Miracle Ward checking now again once in on the stacks. 24 soul fragments collected, earning upwards of the 120 bonus health that does double in the ultimate form. So this is getting to be a pretty beefy Swain. Will very quickly have the Leandries available here. And that is when this Mundo is going to run into some issues. That is when Galio is going to struggle a little bit. Looking down through the other items being completed, the Night Harvester is on the Gragas, will be able to pop people. And then with the Xayah follow-up and the Gale Force, that is a very deadly combo on a single person. The question is, can they catch those people out? We're seeing once again the late game, not late game, but the mid-game experience differential starting to become a problem. Once again, Josh Wally, Helpful Servant, they are up 2 levels on their lane opponents, and those base stats do matter when you get to these team fights.
Yep, these base stats and those ultimates. However, Etanika is up an whole item, an item and a half, honestly, on his lane opponent of Elevated, having that Essence Reaver along with the Gale Force, giving you that extra ability haste plus the damage off the Sheen. They're looking to set up this Death Push, though, for Helpful Servant around Dragon number 3. It is an Ocean Soul, so if you are Dr. Mundo, this is the Dragon.
That is awful. Just Mundo Predator getting popped, though.
Devadela is coming in low, however, an ultimate team fight coming out. So many ultimates being used. We've got, oh my gosh, so much stuff going down here. So Josh Wally comes on in, he ends up going down. You're trading already 4 now down for the side of LBK, and a Dragon now going over. You have traded 4 for 1. Rift Herald is still up. That should be kind of their next play, but it looks like they are pinging for that mid lane fight. Basically, everyone's ultimates were using that fight. Just a full, just everybody pile in. This is the mosh pit. Let's see what comes on out. I apologize for not being able to cast all of it so quickly, but there was just so much going on. Couldn't even get the words at this point, but a great team fight coming in from the side of CoCoMelon, utilizing all their ultimates to almost their maximum effect, and LBK just not being able to match.
Yeah, that was an incredibly close fight, with Scar going in very quickly, going and stunning a black shielded target. Not exactly what you want to do on the Renekton, but a good black shield nonetheless. The biggest thing in that fight was Koopa hitting an absurdly good barrel to split up the team, forcing the carries back further away and the tanks further in, so their pressure that they were creating was not accomplishing anything. They were just going in to die at that point. And with the turnaround of the Xayah and the Swain to then push the carries even further back, that was an easy fight once that barrel came down. Koopa really pulling a lot of weight in that fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also Scar just comes on out and gets that Mundo really low. That actually, I think, was the critical point for that fight. Getting that Mundo low, not letting him regen with his ultimate, means that he goes down right away. If you let this Mundo tear through your team and stay alive, that's how they win. If you just immediately eliminate the only true tank on their team, the rest of their team melts. You've got a Swain, you've got a Xayah, you've got a Renekton and a full AP Gragas. They do damage. Without your tank, you're gonna melt.
Yeah, Mundo is level 11 now. That ultimate is starting to become a huge thing to deal with. Working on that Spirit Visage, that is going to be a very big item for Dr. Mundo. Obviously, getting more of that healing, always great for Mundo.
And absolutely, and looking to see if they will actually get some healing reduction. Right now, the only healing
that's what I'm looking at too. Yeah, that is a problem going forward. I want to see the Merc Treads is going to come through on Renekton here. I'd like to see a Bramble Vest come through afterwards, just sit on the phage. You really, like, at this point, Scar, you're just a tank, really. You're a stun bot. You have hit that point in the Renekton game just because you've fallen behind so early that you just need to be a tank. You need to provide the utility and the stun possibility in fights. And now you really start to worry if you don't see heal reduction start coming through.
Yeah, and, you know, it's Ananika. I mean, he really just needs to... I know you're ahead. You've got that good BF sword. You really need to get yourself some grievous wounds, my friend, because if you get caught out against this Mundo, if Adela does get to pound on you, you will lose that fight overall. You're a Fed 80 carry, but he's a Mundo, so you need heal cut. Gragas cannot be the only person in this game right now with heal cut.
Yeah. Shrelia is the pickup here for the Rakan. Oh my goodness.
What damage coming out. Night Harvester is such a strong item. Coming right on in, bro, I'm better than you. Bro, you're dead.
I'm better than you at being in the fountain. Yeah, Koopa Star getting a lot of damage, and that's kind of the combo we talked about too. The early burst that could come through on Gragas, and then the finish off burst from Xayah. That is insanely good single person damage. But now
Josh Wally does land the stun, however the quickness comes on in, catches 3. Immediately Josh Wally is taken on down. And we got the teleport coming in from Miracle Ward though, and now we've got second Rift Herald being dropped by Koopa Star. They are looking to crack an inhibitor with this push here.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good Rift Herald for them. Pops here. They're going to get another charge onto the inhibitor tower. Predator being popped here for Koopa Star.
They should be able to get this inhibitor, honestly. They should be able to still win this team fight.
Yeah, boo, grab.
In, grabs the perfect grand entrance on top of Helpful Servant while in motion. The lashes on in from Nika comes on in. They grabbing the inhibitor here, and they're immediately jumping right onto this mid inhibitor tower. They have a little bit of a wave, and they're going to jump in there. We're going to take this. This is 2 inhibitors that they're going to be able to take right away here. There's no defense that they can set up on the side of LBK Sapphire.
Absolutely not. That will just be 2 inhibitors down. That has to be the call, though, here, too, because crucially, remember how this team spikes. They have a very hard mid-game spike, and it will be very hard for them to scale into the late game. The Renekton has already hit stun bot status. The Gragas damage, that's not going to stay so incredibly big forever. The Mundo's going to start to come online. The Camille will be a split push pressure issue that they have no answer to, and the Kaisa will start to put out some damage here. It is really just a question of, can they end this game before that ticker goes off?
Absolutely, but they should still be able to now get this Ocean Dragon, putting them on Soul Point with 2 Ocean Dragons as the reward. And, you know, they should at this point recall. They're kind of low on mana. They've got a huge amount of gold, and they can look to contest this Baron, or they can look to say, we're just going to all group bottom and fight you there. And third option, which is the more likely, they send Scar, because they've got the teleport advantage.
Yeah, but remember too, last game, this was a similar situation that CoCoMelon had going for them, and they could not close out the game. They had all the inhibitors down. They had like one of the inhibitors down this early and did not actually create enough pressure. They did not make enough of a move to confirm the game. That's why we're in this game 3. So keep an eye on the map movement and what CoCoMelon are choosing to do with their time here, because this is giving a little bit of time to just catch the minions in the base. And if the Baron is not pressured here or taken, that is going to be a win actually for LBK with the extra minion gold.
Absolutely, that is the critical thing. A big thing to remember is that you are getting those extra minions and that extra minion pressure spawning into your base. So if you don't do anything with it, then yeah, that's just more gold over to your opponent. But right now, it looks like they are looking to do something with it. We've got CoCoMelon on the Baron. Baron's already down to half, and you don't have anyone besides the Morgana anywhere near it. This should be just a free Baron. Absorbs their binding. Nothing's going to come of it. And they grab the Baron, secured with the smite out of Cupid and Scar already in that bottom lane.
Yeah, Renekton doing a lot of work right now. But
and at this point, you should just be having the whole team is now rotating on down. Mundo, you got to get yourself out of there.
No
longer for you. It might be for you right now, but it's about to be on this Swain or on Koopa.
Yeah.
It's lasting so long. Helpful Servant is so low, though, but
that's gonna mean
comes on in the Rakan, Scumbag Rakan with the Ignite to take down Helpful Servant. Adela lasting a good amount of time, but is about to get melted by the squad, and this might just be the game-ending push here with that Baron.
Yeah, this could be it now. They're pushing this bot side here. I feel like they could just be pushing this mid here. Just run past this tower. You don't need this tower right now. This was a trap that they got pulled into. They wasted their time on getting all the inhibitors down and not pushing to end the game, but here we go.
Braun Bethany does get the ult in time, but then just dies right after the zone. LBK Elevated is trying his damnedest, but is not going to be enough. Both Nexus towers are down. All inhibitors are down. Last-ditch effort here. Help Servant coming in. However, he is locked up by the Featherstorm, by the Blade Car. LBK Elevated is bopped by the barrel, and we've got ourselves a Game 3 win in 26 minutes. Fastest game of the night here. GG, well played. CoCoMelon Gaming have made their berth into the finals.
Yeah, and that last game was very, very convincing. The first game was solid, but a little bit of a struggle. The second game, a major struggle to close out. This time around, CoCoMelon Gaming getting the shutdown, getting themselves ahead, and then using that lead as best they could. Not running into the same issue as before, and big props for them. Once Etanika gets off the ground, that is when this team starts popping off.
Absolutely, what a superstar player in the bot lane there. 2-1 win. Absolute slugfest in Game 2, an absolute stomp here in Game 3 from CoCoMelon. Well played by them. They have made their way into the finals. They will be playing against the winner of Tempo Chaos and Xflow Esports. Now, big thing though, CoCoMelon, Sleeper OP, they're the 8th seed. They're the bottom seed, and they beat the 1st seed. They've now beat the 5th seed. They are gonna, I think, now be the team to beat in these finals. They are showing that they have the power to be able to take on these top end teams. And they've now proved that they're at least top 2.
Yeah, I mean, big props to them. And like, honestly, the other thing to mention too is like, as a whole, CoCoMelon are lower ranked than LBK. Like, this was very much like the team understanding more about what their strengths were, what their composition did, and how to abuse that as best they could. Etanika really pulling this team across the finish line, I feel. Koopa in this game, 7-0-9, and we talked about the incredible impact that those explosive casks had in the fight with the ability to split those teams up. Major props to those two for getting this win and getting themselves to the finals.
Yep, now last question of the day here, and feel free to answer in chat as well. Who was your MVP of this series? I know who mine is, but Thousand Eyes, I want to know who your MVP of this series was.
Yeah, it's Etanika. Easy pick there. Koopa Star is the second place, absolutely. But those two far above, I feel, everybody else in these games.
I absolutely agree. Etanika was absolutely amazing, absolutely balled out all 3 games. Koopa Star, definitely most improved player in this game. Went from getting absolutely blasted in his jungle, getting jungle kingdomed, to jungle kingdoming, and just absolutely stellar performance from them. Really well played, both teams. Great fun time. Absolute great cast. Again, shout out to our wonderful producer, Lil Pony. Great job getting everything set up for production. Thanks so much for having us here on the Style Esports channel. Make sure you stay tuned and hit that follow button and those notifications. That way you know when the next playoff game is coming online. Lots of fun stuff coming in here. My name is Basket of Knives. I was joined today doing all the color by 1,000 Eyes. Thank you all so much for joining us here. Have an amazing night, an amazing day, and we will see you all next time.